Hey everybody, and welcome back to Open Rampage. We're in the first week here, so we're just starting off. We got Team 6 on the blue side and Team 8 on the red side. We'll have to see how they start off their seasons. Which one starts off with a 1-0, a nice little thing to have in your pocket, but who knows.
Yeah, and Team 6 letting the bans run out because they had to get a sub a little bit later, so they miss. I'm not sure how many, if they miss all 3, 2, 1, but
I don't remember the ruling.
So we'll have to see how many they miss, and then we'll figure it out based off of that. But a Shaco ban from the red side there.
Maybe 2 from an emergency sub, but I don't remember, and yeah. On Team 6, they did unfortunately have their support not show up, so they have only Cheese Strats filling in right now. Might be standing in for the rest of the season, might just be this week. We'll have to see. But yeah, so far they do have to give up at least 2 bans. Red side going for the Shaco ban, just getting rid of some comfort. Let's see what's next in Ezreal.
Ezreal ban being covered, not locked in yet. They do end up locking it in. Ezreal just always a solid AD carry. Play safe and all that stuff. And then only 2 bans lost. They do pick up the Samira ban for the third one, saying, hey, we don't want to deal with the super aggressive AD carry that dives in and all that stuff.
Yeah. Just Thug Life seems like most comfortable ADC. They don't really want to deal with it, so they just get rid of it. Generally a good thing to ban and pick comfort, especially in a first week scenario. So
Absolutely.
We'll have to see what they want to first pick up here. Maybe something flexible, or maybe they'll just pick whatever they think is the best priority comfort pick. We'll have to see.
Yeah. We'll have to see. They have only 10 seconds to decide, and
Ooh.
Ziggs being hovered. See if they go for it.
I think they will.
I would imagine so, yeah.
That's a good
And
first pick.
Ziggs, super solid, can play really safe, really great at poking, great at taking towers, of course, with that passive and his W, you can just blow the things up from full health, so. And one thing that's good about Ziggs, you can play him mid or you can play him like bot as the AD carry, so a little bit of flexibility there.
Yeah, you can put him bot to fill out damage profiles. He's great against a lot of the meta ADCs, just gets to farm up, and of course, mid lane he's just fine as well. Might struggle against some assassins, but that's why you have the capability to flex it here. They pick up Set on the red side. Just blind picking it here. You have to assume that's for Darterwolf. It's his most played champion, pretty much, so not surprised to see him pick it up here.
Yeah, Set, Galio,
Ooh.
looking like they're trying to make a very strong frontline team here. A lot of engage, a lot of following up the engage, just beefy.
Ooh.
Swain is very good at the champions.
Swain would
like
be
that,
really
though.
good here, yeah.
You have to imagine if they're hovering it, they're going to pick it, because otherwise teammate could just ban it if they don't want to deal with it, and that's a little scary, but they might choose to shy away, but I imagine they're probably going to lock that in.
Ooh. Xin Zhao pretty good against these champs as well.
Xin Zhao pretty good just generally
Against
speaking.
everything, yeah.
But I will say Xin Zhao, he does struggle a little bit more against these sort of half tank, half damage people, not really bruisers per se. Like Galio can be very, very dangerous for him if you CC him at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit spooky there, but they are going to follow it up with the Swain, almost a pseudo dive buddy for that Xin Zhao. So that'll make things a lot easier for him.
Yeah, Swain is an excellent pick here against the Set and the Galio. Any team that really wants to engage or be up in your face, that is Swain's comfort zone. He can struggle against a lot of the longer range champs, but this is where he shines.
Yeah, you have to imagine teammate with what they've got thus far probably not going to be picking too many super long range champs, so Swain being a very solid pick even this early in the draft.
Fiddlesticks. Okay. Fiddlesticks. I'm not really sure how that jungle matchup goes. I mean, obviously Xin Zhao can kind of beat him up, but I'm thinking more in the team fights. It would probably be pretty good for Fiddlesticks. That fear is going to be super annoying for the Xin Zhao, along with the taunt from the Galio. Might be making it hard for him to team fight, so we'll have to see how that unfolds with this less popular jungle pick.
Yeah, and I think Fiddlesticks is one of those champions that let you less worry about the jungle matchup and more worry about his mid game, because it's going to be
Mhm.
up to him to deny the vision, him and the support, of course, denying vision and find those engages, whereas Xin Zhao is doing an entirely different job. So
Yeah.
comparing their jungle matchup is a little goofy, because Xin Zhao will just murder him early on, but then later on they're trying to do different jobs entirely. So
Yeah, the Fiddlesticks is pretty much always concerned with just getting level 6 and seeing what he
yeah.
can do with that Crow Storm.
Why is Fiddlesticks picture the old Fiddlesticks?
I guess ProDraft has not updated it, but we all know it's not that Fiddlesticks.
It's just we see it Urgot ban, Corki ban, Vayne ban. I'm
Yeah,
not sure how I feel about the Vayne ban. The
I
Jinx
love.
ban I would
I don't
like.
know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Vayne's really good on their team,
Yeah, and
so it seems a weird ban.
I think the Jinx ban is a lot better. Jinx with this kind of a front line is a very scary thing to deal with. The Vayne less so, 'cause she has to get close as well. And this
Yeah.
team comp excels at just creating a great team fight for an AD carry just to tear house in.
Yeah, I'd say Jinx is also excellent pick for Team 6, but this double ADC ban kind of signals to me that either the Ziggs or the Swain is probably going ADC in this game. Graves Hover. Could it be a solo lane Graves or Xin Zhao?
It could be Graves
Graves more
mid.
popular. We'll have to see.
I know Graves mid is a off meta pick that a few people do play. So I'd be interested if they're picking it up here as sort of a counter pick to the Galio. That
It
could
would be
be.
good.
It would definitely be good against Galio, and they do lock it in. So I would imagine that's probably mid. And I think
Whoa!
Vladimir. This team
I'm
comp is
just
crazy.
confused. It's
So
Swain
it's
support.
yeah, Ziggs, Swain bot, Vladimir top, Graves mid, Zin's out jungle.
It's gotta be. That's what makes the most sense to me. Ziggs Swain, I will say, super annoying because Ziggs can just satchel you, and then Swain can pull you even further towards them.
And
So
there's
that's gonna be
Orianna,
really rough to deal with.
which means that's
Orianna,
Galio support or set support. It could be, I guess, but I would
I'd say
probably guess
Galio
Galio.
support.
So that's going to be a little rough for the Graves mid all of a sudden. That's the risk in just sort of blind picking that into assuming
I
it's
disagree.
Galio.
I don't think
It's not.
Graves cares. You don't pick Graves to lane. You just pick Graves to press Q on the minion wave and scale. So all that really matters is if he's good against the enemy team, which, he's okay against it.
Yeah,
Orianna Fiddlestick's gonna be annoying in the team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll have to see, based on these team comps, what's going to be going down. I mean, we're still not even 100% sure where everyone's going. Maybe it is Xin Zhao mid, Graves jungle. Like, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it is interesting to see flexibility like this in the draft. Usually you just see people picking comfort, they'll just pick up their lane straight away. Oh, they left this champ up, I want it. But, they are flexing already, starting to try to get comfortable with their teammates. Hey, I can play this support. Can you play it mid? We can flex it around, mess with them in the draft. So both teams are doing that here. Team 6 a little bit more, but Team 8 still flexing that Galio. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, no, definitely a lot of surprises here in this draft. A lot of flex picks, as you mentioned, and I mean, who knows? Maybe the big twist ending is Swain Graves bot lane or something, and it's Ziggs mid the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you never know, but seems unlikely.
So
Watching
as we
the
see the
draft,
people
Vlad
lock
top.
in,
So
Vlad top, set top. Those were pretty much the only ones we were completely sure about, aside from like Fiddlesticks.
I mean, this top matchup is, really, it's whatever. Vlad's probably just gonna run phase rush, so Set can never kill him, but Vlad can never really kill Set either. So they're both probably just gonna be scaling up towards the team fights. We'll have to see.
Okay, so it is Xin Zhao jungle. Now we just gotta see what the mid laner is.
Yes, it definitely seems more likely that it would be Xin Zhao jungle than Xin Zhao solo lane.
And there is the Graves. So it is going to be the Graves mid versus the Orianna. I still stand by. I don't feel like that's a very good matchup for Graves. It's very hard for him to get onto her, and if he does, she has her E and gets the free resistances plus the shield. It's very, very difficult for him to sort of be a bully like he would have been against a champion like Galio.
Yeah, it's definitely not favorable for him like it was with the Galio, but still, You pick Graves mid to start getting 1, 2, 3 items online. You have permanent priority on that lane until maybe Orianna gets her loons online, basically. So, have to see how he uses that. When you have a strong early game jungler like the Xin Zhao, and your mid laner has priority to move around, that's a very powerful tool.
Yeah, I want to see Vision placed out to prevent Fiddlesticks from getting either crab.
Mhm.
Because this is a game setup where you can very easily, prevent Fiddlesticks from getting either crab. Because Xin Zhao should be able to get a double crab here if he has support from his teammates.
Absolutely.
Jhin Galio should not be getting like too much prio against Ziggs Swain. They should be shoved into the turret by the time that
Mhm.
bot crabs up. Top lane, Set is going to be better at rotating, but he can be matched by the Graves very easily, and Xin Zhao Graves wins the 2v2 against Set Fiddlesticks very, very easily.
Oh yeah,
So if
the
you
Fiddlestick's
get,
just not that good.
yeah,
Early skirmish.
they need to be warding for this to make sure that Fiddlesticks can't trade crabs. Because if Fiddlesticks trades crabs, that's a big win for him. Xin Zhao should definitely be getting both of the crabs, getting an early game lead and just applying pressure across the map. If he doesn't, they're going to be in some pretty big trouble because they're not using that early game pressure to the fullest.
Yeah.
And they really, really need to be.
Yeah, he needs to be getting a successful gank off or getting that double crab, absolutely. And yeah, I agree. His team should have priority in the bottom. In the mid lane, Vlad, pretty much a useless piece of crap in the early game, so
Yeah.
not gonna have help up there, but that's what he's got Billy Willard on the Graves for.
Yeah, no, he should be able to get the double crab. He should be able to do that. But looking at the team comps, which one do you favor in this game?
Now, we've been talking a lot about blue side, but I don't want to disservice red side's comp. Like I said, Fiddlesticks and Orianna are pretty much very good picks against all of these champions,
Hmm.
but I could see Vlad becoming a really, really big issue for this team to deal with. I think the drafts are pretty even, but I would give it slightly towards blue side because they can scale up and they can also win the early game.
Hmm.
So they have just more ways to build a lead or keep the lead. Their pick's pretty good with Ziggs and Swain as well. So I will favor Team 6 on this, but not by a huge gap.
See, I would actually go to favor Team 8 on this side. They have a ridiculously good team fight, and so all they really need to do is sort of relax in those lanes. Even if they're behind a little bit coming out of laning phase, they still have a huge advantage come that big like third dragon team fight that you always see. If they have like one major item each and they're down like maybe like half an item across the board or something like to different
Mm,
people, they're still probably going to be able to win that team fight. The Fiddlesticks engage coupled with the Orianna ult, with the Galio ult coming on top, and you have Set in there as well, and Jin just lighting people up from the back line. That is
yeah,
very, very scary to deal with, and it's really easy to execute as well. Put the ball on Fiddle, Fiddle finds the engage, slam them all into Fiddle, he just like Zonia's in the middle of the team, and they're just dead.
yeah. It
So,
definitely does all come down to Frosty's fiddle ults this game, I feel. It's
mhm.
up to Team 6 to try to vision control it, and it's up to Team 8 to try to vision deny that and try to get those good Crow Storms going. But as always, you never know until you get into the game. So we will cut to a quick break and catch you after the remaining spectator delay for the first game.
We probably want to resync.
Yeah. I'll pause up at 110 and we can sync up.
Yeah, okay. Technical difficulties on the day. It's all good. Alright, I'm paused.
Get it all set up here. Spectator and everything. And we'll be
Frosty
into the
is
game. First blood
dead.
on the Ziggs is excellent.
Yeah, starting off with an extra. Oh, he bought a sapphire crystal. Come on, buy a dark seal. Live a little.
Yeah, Dark Seal would have been way better. The only thing about the Sapphire Crystal is it does get you up towards that lost chapter.
Yeah, that is fair. Makes it easier to get that back.
And we see the Gravesing begins. Presses Q on the wave as soon as it shows up.
Yeah, the Gravesing indeed.
Have to see if any action unfolds here. What is the Xin Zhao path? He's skipping both his bot side camps, going straight to Wolves, maybe even straight to blue. Looks like straight to blue, so very aggressive Xin Zhao path here. Red buff, blue buff, Gromp, it looks like.
That's a pretty standard if you want to get a early level 3 gank, because it is the fastest way to get level 3. So I have to imagine he's probably going to be doing that, and then based on where the waves are, though, it's kind of awkward for him.
You can't gank mid, and I mean, how do you kill Set when your top laner is Vladimir? Seems pretty hard, but in the bot lane, Swing gets caught out by the level 2 advantage on Galio, and Galio just punches him dead. Only Cheese Strat's going down, and that evens up the kills here, though it is on Galio rather than the Ziggs. And even in the top lane here, Set's in a super safe position, but Zin's out looking for that invade instead, it looks like. Is he just doing the red buff?
Yeah, it looks like he's applying that early pressure, which is what you want. Just take the red buff, man. You
gotta for the play here. They can totally just do the red buff. This is the priority we're talking about from that Graves. Fiddlesticks, you can't really hover around there, man. You just have to give it up. Fortunately, Set gets the grab, but Vladimir not going to take any turret aggro, so he's fine.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
And his team's up there anyway, so if Set extends on that trade, he's just going to die.
Look bot
Graves
side,
going back mid lane and everything.
Fiddle's getting a crab. A disaster. Yeah. A disaster.
They got his red buff, so they'll take that instead of the double crab, I guess. Seems fine to me. Xin Zhao's still getting that lead going. As long as he clears from his top to bottom here, he'll have a pretty nice CS lead going.
Yeah. It is a little tough, because looking at the way the map was set up, this is probably ideal for Gazorp, because Fiddlesticks was most likely going to be able to get that bot crab anyway, due to the prio that his bot lane does actually have.
Yeah.
Strong Potato is applying the pressure on the Galio, and Cheese Strats is, without Flash, has to be a lot more careful in this lane, so kind of harder for them to push up like they'd like to. Top lane,
it is really scary. Yeah, trade's going through on the top side, but Set doesn't get the stun, nothing on the other side of his face breaker, so Vlad just takes a couple hits to the face. He doesn't mind. He's got that sustain. Have to see, we've got 3 people on the bot side here. Only Cheese Strats, so going up pretty far. He's going to get rooted up by the Jhin as well after the taunt, getting sucked by the Fiddle, but he can't get him. An auto comes through and doesn't finish. Braves with the TP. Billy Willard is here. Can he get the chase? He flashes onto Galio and blocks that E. Very nice. Smokescreen goes out onto the Fiddlesticks. The Ziggs bomb misses. They're chasing through. Jin's reloading, but he gets the last shot on Billy Willard nonetheless. Fear goes through on Ziggs, but I can't imagine anything's going to come of it.
That absolutely should have been 2 kills going over for the red team there. The fact that only Cheese Strats lived is a crime.
Yeah, just a bit of misexecution by Frosty.
Oh, look at Gazorp.
Zorp is coming through. There's 3 people coming in on Thug Life here. Yeah, he is not in a good spot. He doesn't have flash or heal. Xin Zhao is just going to jump on him, beat him up. He's going to get Swain passive. He's rooted up. He's just autoing him to death. Yeah, see you later, Thug Life.
Cheese Strats was playing that even a little riskily. I mean, he almost got himself killed by Thug Life there. If there was a 4th shot coming in, he would have been in some real trouble, but luckily there wasn't, so. Mid lane, see Billy Willard taking a nice little trade.
Some weird stutter steps by Billy there. That looked funny, but Still getting the job done. He is down to 10 CS, but really he's got that Dirk. He's got 3 ranks in his queue. I think
Yeah.
4 ranks is when you really start one-shotting that wave, but
Well,
still doing a
also,
pretty good job of it here.
expected to be down in the lane when you TP bot lane to
Yeah.
help out. So the fact that he's only down as much as he is honestly pretty good. But he is down TP. Top lane, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that there's
nothing to
oh,
say
wait a
there.
minute, though.
Oh, Shockwave comes out on the mid lane, though. There is something to say about that. Galio's here as well. Throws the Winds of War down. Orianna does have to flash. She gets scared of that Graves damage, and Frosty picks up the kill in the mid lane.
Probably didn't need to flash, but, you know, if Graves gets a 1-for-1 there, that's really, really bad. So definitely better to play it safer rather than playing really riskily and maybe dying as a result. So good respectful flash, always nice to see, but now he has to be careful because if Gazorp chooses to come mid, it could be very, very easy for him to just get that kill off.
I mean, this top lane going excellently for top gap Sag here, actually. If you're ahead in CS on the set in the early game, that's really his best time for this matchup, so doing great for himself. Just going to scale up real nicely on that Vlad, especially with those buffs, just straight up extra stats, just a better at everything, tankier and more damage for him, so have to see how he looks at the 2-3 items mark.
Yeah. And something else to note is the jungle matchup, though, going very well for Frosty. I mean, he's up in CS. He has the same kill participation. He has that little bit unlucky first blood death, a little bit of miscommunication on where everyone is supposed to be standing. But aside from that, I mean, things have been going really, really well for him. And right now, I mean, look at where Gazorp is. Look where he is. He's just going to get bot trap for free.
Yeah, Dragon's up 2, and his bot lane has priority, but mid lane doesn't is the problem. So have to see how that goes. Set going in for the trade. He's not going to win it. He's taking up a lot of minions here.
Yeah.
So actually loses out on it, but still, like we said, very unlikely to see any kills, especially before Vlad buys any items.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's just going to keep running at him.
Again, E, punch, punch. Vlad has the sustain, though, so we'll have to see. As long as Top Gap Sag can stop himself from getting grabbed up again, he'll be fine.
But the thing is, every time Darter keeps doing this, is he's stunning the enemy minions, which is making his minions just kill them. And so he's effectively taking the trades and losing CS off of it. And if you're Top Gap Sag, you know you're not going to get killed by it, so, like, do you care?
Whoa, no. Zinzao flashes into the bottom lane here. Can he get the knock up onto the Galio? Swain flashes and forces Strong Potato to flash away. Jin has that curtain call, and he's going to call it. The red side TP coming in. It's got to be Darter Wolf here. He's running through, and only Cheese Strats is done. Whoa! Set is angry. He grabs up the Zinzao.
Oh, he doesn't get his W off.
But he gets knocked back by the Zinzao into the Satchel Charge, and he's taking up the turret. Doesn't get the Haymaker off in time for that shield, and big nuke.
And that is great news for Top Gap Sag, because look at that minion wave. He doesn't even have to TP. He can just stroll back in the lane.
Yeah, he just got done recalling. He's like, good job, guys. Thanks.
Life is good for the Vladimir player. Sitting up top lane farming. Your laner TPs and gets nothing except for himself killed. Like, life is good.
That's exactly what you want to see. Because, Darter Wolf's TP did not kill only Cheese Strats there. Potato, that's a Zinzao buddy. He's just going to auto you down. He's got red buff. He doesn't need to land his W. He doesn't need to land anything. He just right-clicks you. Thug Life, you're next. Up. He has no flash. He has no heal. Gets pulled back by the Swain's Satchel Charge. Like I said, that combo, really annoying.
Yeah.
Doesn't take much execution, and they're going to run up towards this first Ocean Drake here at 10 minutes.
How is he that far up still after seeing his support get killed? I mean, Potato lasted a decent amount of times. Like, surely you can just run away in that time.
Yeah, must not have realized soon enough that there was a Zinzao coming his way as soon as he got done murdering his support. So
yeah, but that is going to be first dragon going over. Pretty expected for the Zinzao to be getting dragons in this jungle matchup. So not the end of the world, but that Zig's getting pretty strong. He's going to scale up. The Zinzao being very strong now, right after I mentioned the jungle matchup going pretty well.
Nice pool. I do got to say, I wish one of these top laners, or both, went for a pair of boots here, even upgraded them, because move speed in this matchup is crazy valuable, but they are just rushing towards those mythics, which are crazy power spikes for the both of them, so different strategies here. Graves running up into the river might catch Frosty with his hand in the cookie jar at Rift Herald here. But he's got his Orianna to cover him. Set has priority as well. But no Rift Herald going to go down, though. Frosty looking, he could get that Crowstorm CC chain onto Vladimir, but it's not going to happen.
Potato really wants this pink ward.
Hard to walk into that one against Zig Swain, though, so
yeah,
he does have to give up the game.
Only one hit left, too. He's got a stronger willpower than me. I would have gone for it and died.
Late pool there.
Late,
Gets the Hextech alternator from the pool, though. Dodges out on the true damage. Still a winning trade for Vladimir. He's running up into melee. Takes 2 punches that he didn't need to, but he's got that sustain, so he's still in a really good spot here.
Honestly, if he hadn't used that pool, he might have been able to all-in Darter there.
Yeah, pretty likely. Set did use his W really early, and we see Graves one-shotting the backline now with his Q.
Yeah.
So he can just move around the map with the Zorp as much as he wants.
Darter, again, going for a trade.
Classic.
That pool's risky.
Takes a lot of damage. He dodges the true damage. The ult goes in. The empowered Q goes in. The showstopper goes in. And ooh, the right-handed punch takes him out.
Yeah, that was
all stacked up on the set there, and a little bit of impatient play from Top Gap Sag. Zinzao going in mid potentially, but decides not to go for the tower dive against Oriana with flash.
Just
probably smart.
Action all over the map right now. Cuts to mid, potential tower dives, cuts to bot. They're in the middle of trading. Yeah. This game is becoming very, very active, very, very quickly.
I will say, Team 8, Jin is up 35 CS in this bottom lane here. Oof. Not when you want to see if you're the Ziggs. I mean, you do scale well, don't get me wrong, really good in that mid game, but without the gold, it's going to be rough. And that Jin is no joke when it comes to scaling either, but there's a fight here. They say, screw the scaling, we're fighting. Chasing the Jin is the Ziggs. He heals, but he can't get him. Scared off by the Galio. Throws one more bomb, but he's not going to catch him eating those plants.
Yeah. And we see that. I mean, that's even better for the Jin. He is up at this point 500 gold on his lane counterpart, and he's got his full Gale Force and a shoe.
That's tough. Gale Force is a really big problem for Ziggs and Swain, who are all skill shots, so he can dodge one of those and he is gonna be chilling. Don't do it. Okay, Zorp. He wanted to steal that cannon minion, but doesn't get it. Dropping the Herald mid.
Oof, that is a lot of damage on the Q from Graves.
Trade coming in the top lane. And
that was a bad pool.
He is just too eager with this pool, but that last plate was super low on that mid turret, so Team 6 gets a triple plate Rift Herald there for a lot of gold onto the Zinzao and the Graves, so nice little gold influx for him.
Getting it right in time as the plates are going to be expiring fairly quickly here, so good on them to get that. Earth Dragon coming up in a minute. You got to imagine that people are going to be going for that pretty soon.
Yeah, Darter Wolf's TP will be up in time for that, and Top Gap Sages will not be. So we'll have to see if Set can make a more impactful TP play than before this time.
Yeah.
Or if he goes for one at all.
I almost wish he'd find some time to reset here.
Yeah, he really does. He's way too low to enter a team fight at this HP. He's going to have to clear this wave and reset if he wants to TP into a dragon fight.
And I really feel like he should. Individual Earth Drakes are just...
He can get dove here if he's not careful.
Oh, Frosty's a little scared.
He jumps in onto Frosty Zinzao. Oh, he's all by himself. The curtain call comes in. The Zinzao drops the Crescent Guard. Those shots aren't going to do anything. The Jin firing from the bottom side. Galio also caught out. Jin by his lonesome in a 2v1. I don't think that Gale Force is going to save him. Swain ults. That's a big bird. That's a double kill for the Ziggs. And, I mean, that should be Mountain Drake going over to the blue side. No need for a TP from Darter Wolf.
Yeah.
You can save
that. That is a complete disaster, because I don't know if you know. Oh, jeez.
Whoa, he tries to flash ult him back into the turret, but just barely is to the side of him. But Darter Wolf, even if you get that, Vlad he can just press W and he is out of there. So definitely getting a little bit angry with this lane, I would say. Just really tiring getting constantly poked by that Vlad, and he just tries to go for the play under his turret there.
And now he is down 30 CS, just got solo killed. It is not good for him. That is a Earth Dragon going over to the Team 6 on this one, so things looking pretty bad for them at this point. Especially since, I don't know if you noticed, but Frosty in that fight actually got his ult cancelled by Gazorp's knockup, which was just like, you shouldn't even use the ult there, because you're gonna at best use it and be alive for like half of a second.
Yeah, and I will say the Mountain Drake is crazy valuable for Team 6 here. Pretty much all of their champions have a lot of effective HP. They're going to be building at least some resistances. Graves gets a million armor just from pressing his E button. So really everyone but Ziggs is benefiting a lot from this, and even Ziggs, of course, gets a little bit of a boost up to his tankiness there. So gonna be really annoying to take down Team 6. Look at all those traps.
Yeah, but just because it's annoying to take them out doesn't mean this game is lost by any means.
Oh, yeah.
There's still, as I mentioned, that third dragon is where I'm kind of expecting the big team fight to be. Everyone's going to have Mythic plus something. So, we see
Rooted up
Cheese
is a
getting caught out
Swain,
here.
into a slam by the Galio, into a taunt. Jin has that Gale Force, he has that damage. No stopwatch from the Swain or anything. So he's doing a lot of damage, but the Gale Force gets him out, can't land the bomb on him. So not going to get anything out of that. So that's just a 1 for 0 for Team 8.
Yeah, and it's really, really important that Thug Life keeps getting these kills. Because Jin is a champion that really benefits from being ahead.
Yeah.
So if he was behind as much as the rest of his team is, it'd be pretty disastrous for Team 8 on this one. But because he's pretty strong still, he's going to be chunking people with those autos, with those crits, and I'm hoping that by the next dragon he's going to have, like, upgraded boots and, like, half of an item, hopefully. And in an ideal world for Team 8, he has 2 items, but most likely not. He actually is going for the Zerker Greaves on the Jin. Not generally what people pick up on that champion, but they're okay. They do give him a little bit more move speed when he gets a crit. They give him a little bit of AD because of the way he scales, and they do give him the just 45 move speed base from the item.
Yeah, it is more raw damage than the Swifty boots, but Jin, usually people pick up the Swifty boots because he doesn't struggle in the damage department. He struggles in the not dying to Vladimir department. So we'll have to see how that plays out in the team fight. Shockwaves comes out onto Gazorpazorp here, but nothing's going to come of it. Does dissuade any sort of tower dive here.
Ooh,
just clearing out the wave, misses the cannon minion. That's a frowny face.
Yeah, just a defensive shockwave used there, and I mean, I think that's fine. Because if he didn't use that, there was a very good chance that Gazorp just goes for the dive there, and maybe you can outplay it with the shockwave, but I mean, that Xin Zhao has a lot of damage and Gore Drinker, so better just to play it safe.
Uh-oh. Fiddle getting caught up by the Swain E here, and ooh! That is a lot of damage from the Ziggs, just getting one shot up by that E plus Q Swain combo as well. I'm pulling towards the set here, but he's going to tank up some damage from the punches going in melee range. Protobelt's forward, has the empowered Q, has the ult on him. The showstopper comes through, so does the face breaker. Punches are coming out from Darterwolf, but he doesn't follow through, can't get the finish onto Top Gap Sag, scared of that empowered Q. Galio ulting in to help out his Orianna. That Graves ult doing so much damage, but the taunt coming in perfect time on the stopwatch. Xin Zhao's spear doesn't land, but his ult lasts so long, he almost gets the kill on Hosley. They're chasing onto this Graves here. He has no mana, no E to come through. The root comes in, and he's good as dead. That's a double kill. It's a Thug Life.
Double kill, and one of those kills worth 600 gold, a very big bounty there onto Gazorp's Xin Zhao. We saw Xin Zhao almost ridiculous enough to keep him alive long enough to kill Hosley's Orianna there, but just barely not enough. But
yeah, that thing always lasts 10 more seconds than you hope it does when you're playing a ranged champion, it seems like.
Oh,
but he doesn't quite pull it out. Then there is a nice pull from Top Gap Sag. Doesn't get pulled in by Darterwolf and is going to backs out of the empowered Q there.
Yeah. And Thug Life getting strong on this gen. He is going for Collector second this game. I think he should be going Mortal Reminder. Or, sorry, Lord Dominix.
Lord Doms.
Yeah.
Fear comes in on the Graves here. You're going to take a lot of damage, Fiddlestick.
So squishy.
You can't stand still against Ziggs, buddy. That's where all this damage comes through. Graves chasing in onto the Galio, but he gets scared off by Ori.
This is so sad as well, because with him dead, I mean, he's their primary engage. He's the primary carrier of the Orianna ball, and Dragon's up in 5 seconds, and he's dead. So they just have to give it now.
Darterwolf can't sub in as the ball carrier, though. Billy Willard is practically dead. Looks like he got caught by a Hosley shockwave, seeing it's on cooldown.
Yeah,
but Dragon gonna go over to blue side nonetheless.
Yeah, they can't. This can't be contested, and this is very scary because it means that they're sitting on Soul Point, and if they get Infernal Soul, it's going to be very difficult, even with the team fight advantage. You're playing against Infernal Soul Ziggs. Nobody wants to do that. champion is a nightmare to deal with normally.
Oh, absolutely.
So we'll have to see if they're able to pick up some items, get a little bit more damage, maybe get... They can cash in that shutdown on Hedge 20, that would be huge. I really feel like at this point Hedge 20 should be sort of playing safe. Just, you don't really need to be going for much, you're at very far ahead. Just get that team fight. And we see though
More fights in the top lane. Top Gap even dropped the ult on him. He's trying to save it. So greedy from Top Gap Sag there. That was a free solo kill, and he doesn't drop the Hemo Plague. So Darterwolf gonna get to walk away with his life. But showing what Top Gap Sag can do, he is really strong already, and it's only gonna get worse. Shockwave comes out on the Graves here. Curtain Call as well. He has nowhere to run. The Fiddlesticks ult is in. Nothing you can do. I mean, there's 4 people down there. Billy Willard, all chat. Need 4 to kill me, lol.
They're pinging the Baron. They're starting to 2-man it.
This is a little crazy. They don't really have the DPS for this. Ziggs and Vlad are not known for their Baron killing capabilities. They're no Cassiopeia.
Darterwolf sees him, like, get off the Baron.
The Satchel misses, but he can't get it. He can't get in there nonetheless. And his team's moving up, so he's all good. He is looking. He grabs up the Vlad. He's going in. He has the Galio ult, comes in as well. Vlad flashes out of it. The shield comes in from the set. He's doing so much damage, but the Swain is behind them. He's going to tank up so much damage. The Galio goes down. Set doesn't have his W, so he's going to go down as well. 2 dead on the red side. Maybe blue side goes for Baron again. Swain flashing in, but he doesn't get the E. Jin doing a lot of damage. Thug Life is jumped on by the Xin Zhao, though. Gets zoned out. Fiddlesticks. Frosty. Whoa, man, you're a little crazy with it. He has the Zonias, gets the kill as well, but can Orianna save him? And he flashes out. The W lands from Jin, and down goes the Xin Zhao. This fight just does not stop. Orianna, dodges out on the Graves R with the flash. Nicely played by Hosley there. Helping out his jungler and then dodging out on the Graves damage. Easy play from Frosty, but pays off.
Yeah, really great use of the stopwatch there, really knowing the damage, knowing exactly how long you can last in that fight, and gets his team a couple kills off of it. So really good from him showing, hey, I may have had a couple bad ults, a couple missteps, but I still know how to play my champ. Watch this. Really good on him there.
Watch the Flash Fiddlesticks W. Coming in ham. Doesn't have it for his ult next time, but will eventually. So a good play for them.
That's really good to see, though. I mean, that was effectively like a 3v4. Galio was not there, and they had no ults, and they still are able to get 2 kills and no deaths out of it. So very, very well played by them. I want to give a shout out to Hosley, the true support of the team, 006.
Yeah. 1 assist away from the ultimate secret agent. We'll have to see if he can get there. But for now, we're just waiting for this next dragon to come up. Vlad has 2 items. Xin Zhao has 2 items. One of them's an Essence Reaver. I don't know about that. Gonna be doing a lot of damage, though.
Yeah, if he had Asterix this game, it would just be so hard to bring him down at this point.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping Hosley can finish his Zonias before the dragon comes up. If he can't, it's pretty bad because Zonia is obviously very, very powerful. We just saw its use on the stopwatch there, and his stopwatch is broken, so it would be ideal if he can finish that up before Dragon, be back and TP to it if he needs to, but...
Yeah, I would have really loved if Hedge 20 had found a way to pick up a stopwatch here. Like you said, he is that very high-value target, so having that on that immobile backliner would be really nice for him. But nonetheless, he is 2 items. Got that Leandre's, got that Demonic Embrace, so that poke is going to do so much burn. They're going in onto Fiddlesticks here. Can he fear them? When Galio ult comes in to deter any follow-up. So Frosty has to use his Protobelt, but nothing else. Loses about a third of his health.
Honestly, please reset. I'm pretty sure you have Zonias in the bank.
He does have TP, so he can, but looks like he wants to posture with his team. Oh no! Fiddlesticks ult gets interrupted. The Ziggs ult coming in. Xin Zhao is in the middle of the whole team. This is real bad. Swain tanking up the bullets, though. He's nearly dead. Gets taken down. Darterwolf is in. Jin is here. Thug Life trying to put out the damage, but he's zoned out by the smoke screen. Graves going in. Doesn't get the bounce, but he's going to take out Galio. Nonetheless, Thug Life walks away with his life. But that is a good fight for Team 6, and that is probably going to be Infernal Soul.
Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine it's Infernal Soul unless Thug Life gets a miracle steal, but that doesn't seem likely. Darterwolf being brought down.
Is that going for the fight? Doesn't quite get it.
If If he got the true damage on the Billy, he probably would have killed him there.
Yeah,
Given
he
the
would
Jin
definitely would have
W.
killed him if he aimed that haymaker. He was trying to get all of them, but you just got to go for the true damage in that situation. But
Yeah.
more importantly, that is an Infernal Soul over to this Ziggs, this Vladimir, this
A little bit of
Graves.
scary smite timing there. Actually, it wasn't the one that finished it, and there was a Jin W coming, so that could have been pretty bad, but it works out in the end. So, got the Infernal Soul. They're up 6k at this point.
Yep.
Things looking very, very good for Team 6 on this one.
There's that stopwatch I was hoping for on Hedge, so he will be safe for the near future at least, and probably just picking up a straight up Zonia's after that. So gonna have a lot of safety in his back pocket. Got a stopwatch on top gap Sag as well. He is almost level 16. He is so strong in this side lane here. Can just infinitely push in the Orianna or the set, and then look to TP up to a Baron fight. Have to see what happens. Everyone posturing, trying to pick up waves here. Baron is on the map. Team 6 has that Infernal Soul. They'll take it down pretty fast. As long as Billy Willard is there, he's honestly the main DPS for this. So we will have to see. I mean, at this point, I'm wondering how Team 8 is gonna win a team fight. I feel like it's always the same regardless. You just need that big Fiddlesticks ult into a big Orianna ult. So it's gonna be hard to get that when blue side has so much control. Looks like Team 6 is posturing here in the jungle. Team 8 is all piled up, though. They're ready to defend their home front. Vlad pushing up in the top lane. Have to see, just everyone kind of running around. Billy Willard has pressure in the bottom lane. Hoping to see a pick created and Baron done. Ooh, that is so much great Graves damage. Orianna has to flash out of it immediately. He does nearly have 3 items, but just that much lethality makes it really dangerous for the Orianna. Even if she does have that Zonia's, the percent armor pen from the Lord Doms and the Eclipse, just making him shred anybody he touches. They are finally going on the Baron. 3 people on it. Vlad's not here. Neither is Graves, so they're taking it down kind of slow, but there is no contest so far. Fiddlesticks is nowhere near, so this should just be a free one. Billy Willard zoning out in the mid lane, and it should all come out good. That is a Baron for Team 6. Gonna try to push it to end, and that is super easy with the Ziggs siege power. So they are taking their resets, and then they are going to look for the siege with Ziggs. Hopefully put a Vlad or a Graves or both in the side lane, and then push down another lane with the Ziggs. Let Ziggs just one-tap that tower with his auto W. Going to take them down super fast. Not the highest AP build, so not the most turret damage here, but still. Ziggs is just always a turret shredder. Vlad here, level 16, 2.5 items, got that stopwatch in his back pocket if anything goes wrong. So they are pushing up the mid lane, but they only have 3 people. Ziggs going to take out the turret instantly. Auto W like we predicted. So they're pushing up towards the inhib turret. Graves dropping into that side lane. He does one-shot the waves, so he can start putting up pressure. 2 lane pressure is what you want to see with the Baron buff. 1 lane can be kind of hard, especially against a mage like the Orianna. She can try to clear it the best she can, but when it's 2 lanes, Orianna can only be in one of them, so you're going to start doing turret damage to that other one. Ziggs can't really walk up here, scared of the fiddle. They do see him, but Billy looks like he's putting some damage onto that bot turret, getting the pressure right now. Fiddle walking up to him, but Billy just dashes in, no fear, just blows him up. 2 autos in the collateral damage, and he is dead. Shockwave comes out, he kills the Galio in the meantime. Child's play for this 3-item Graves here. So much damage dumped into that kit, showing him the power of a shotgun. Set ults into the middle of 4 people here, gets a nice punch onto only Cheese Stretch. He's tanking up, he has that Sterix popped, he has the Gore Drinker, but he dies to top gap Sag, who is in the midst of his backline. Hosley is going to die in 1 Vlad combo here. Curtain Call opens up, but I don't think you can stop this Vlad here. This Zonya's comes in, but the spear and the tip behind it comes in as well. Vlad walking at the Jin, gives him the empowered Q, and Zonya's doesn't quite get it in time for the 4-shot. Goes down, no pool coming in. Both the Nexus turrets are gone. Ziggs gets tagged by the auto. Can he get caught by a Jin W? He does, gets rooted up, Jin chasing in, but Zen is going to zone him off. And it looks like this should be the end. No! Frosty flashes in and fears up the Zen Zhao. Nothing he can do there. Really scary for Thug Life to keep going. That Ziggs E just basically killed him on its own. Ouch. Things looking really good for Team 6 here. Should be an ended game pretty soon. Elder Dragon coming up in 30 seconds. If they get that, I mean, you saw Billy Willard's damage, and he's working towards an Infinity Edge. Oh my goodness. He's just going to wipe everything off the planet. His shotgun's going to turn into a good old vaporizer. Team 6 is just posturing for the dragon here. Sitting in the bush, waiting, sweeping it. That's what you like to see. So they're going to 3-man this. If they catch anyone in a CC here, Set's kind of tanky, but they can still kill him. But a little eager. I'd like to see them wait in that bush longer. Sorry, got an interruption there, but we are back here for the posturing at Elder Drake. Everyone is here. A lot of summoner spells are down. Looking for a fight. They have the vision. Swain's got that Everfrost, trying to zone out. Fiddlesticks doesn't have a good position for his ult. And look at this Vlad. What a pain. 2 super minions are pushing toward the Nexus here. Vlad is in the middle of 4 people, though. Can he get the pool off? He does get it off, but he's gonna die after. Does end up dying. Graves comes in and just blows up Darter Wolf. Fiddlesticks dies on the side as well. So it is a 4v3. Gonna try to push for the end here. They have that Ziggs, who is no pushover when it comes to the Nexus damage either. Still gonna be nuking that thing. So they should be able to just run it down and end the game here. Close it out nice and easy. They're just running towards it. Osley has that shockwave. He gets it 1-man just onto Billy Willard. That's not going to be enough. Elder Dragon's going to take out the Galileo. Not quite. Hedge 20 finishes the game too fast, and that's a blown up Nexus. That's game 1 win going over to Team 6. Just game 1, though. We'll have to see how the second game goes. A nice, interesting draft from both teams on that game. Team 6 hold the lead for most of it, and they push it on through pretty cleanly. A nice even showing from everyone, I'd say, but in the bot lane for sure. Hedge 20, flexing a little bit, using the range of that Ziggs to sit back and just consistently put out damage, doing his job immaculately, and then coming in to push down the turrets. But that is game 1. We'll have to go to a break and catch you for game 2. So we will get you on the other side and see if Team 6 can close it out a clean 2-0, or if we're going to 3 games and Team 8 has something to say about it. welcome back. We are into the draft, not quite. Teams are about to start it up. Got Team 8 on the blue side and Team 6 on the red side. Team 6 came away with a pretty convincing win in the last game. They are on a different side, so we're going to have to see what sort of strats they pull out if they swap up their draft heavily. If they go for something new, or if they say, our draft was fine. We can just execute better on it. I am wondering, is Team 8 going to try to take away that Ziggs? Because it was a really, really big problem last game. Would be a good ban, or they could just first pick it away for themselves. Not sure if Thug Life plays it or Hosley, but it would be an excellent flex pick for them. Straight into draft here. Just banning Shaco, keeping that out of Gazorpazorp's hands. They just don't want to deal with that clown, so fair enough. He just did get a very, very small buff, making his puff of smoke not appear in the fog war. Samira banned by Team 6 again. And yeah, there it is. Team 8 just bans Ziggs away. Don't want to deal with the long-range utility, the wave clear, the crazy semi-global ult damage. Turret taking Ziggs just does so much for a team. So they just get rid of it, don't want to pick it for themselves. Team 6, considering they're banned for a while here, they might, I think they actually just have to do no bans still because of the emergency sub. So they will have to give up 2 bans again. Sticking with the Samira worked for them last time, I guess, so. And Team 8 bans Graves as well, so 2 of the champions from Team 6's draft last game are not going to be allowed through. I think a smart play. They didn't seem to have a great answer to the Graves mid. Just has such crazy wave priority, and then that scaling, we saw him just blowing people up with that lethality build later on, so. Just get rid of it. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, man, maybe Darter Wolf wanted that Teemo, man. But we will have to see what their first pick is here. Set is open. They might first pick it, but I don't like it. I mean, he's just not a very good first pick, especially if you're only putting him in the top lane. If you're not flexing him to the support role and sometimes mid, he just ends up lacking. He has a lot of counter picks up there in the top lane, but we'll have to see if Top Gap Sag can pull out another one. Vlad did pretty well for him last game, so he could pull that out again if it doesn't get banned away from him or if they pick it in the first phase here. Nonetheless, Team 6 looking at Tristana. Another flex pick. Can go ADC and mid, just like that Ziggs. We'll have to see what this next champion they pick is if they keep up this flex in the draft. Ooh, Xin Zhao. They do keep up the flex. They pick up the stalwart jungler in that Xin Zhao. And I mean, see, this is what I would have liked to see Team 8 do. I mean, giving over that Xin Zhao and you have Set Top instead, who can just get counterpicked. Xin Zhao doesn't really have a counter, man. That champ is just so good in pretty much every game. So Team 6 just picks that up, and they hold the flex between the mid and the bot with the Tristana here. Liking this draft from Team 6. We'll have to see how Team 8 answers the Xin Zhao. They pick Jinx. Figure it has a good enough matchup into Tristana if you send that bottom lane. Xin Zhao, it's hard for him to get on her unless he lands the Wind Becomes Lightning to get the long range dash, and even then she can put some traps out to deter him. Have to see what they pair with this Jinx, maybe more frontline, maybe a good engage support, a good peel support. It's all on the table here. I would like to see some peel though. That's not peel, that is Echo. That is a diver, just gonna jump in with that parallel convergence and see what he can do. I don't really like the Echo here. If it's jungle, it's not excellent against Xin Zhao. If it's mid lane, you're blind picking Echo. And it's not very good against Tristana because she can just W out of your W. And Thresh picked up here for Team 6. Thresh is so good. Tristana, she has a self-peel tool, but if she goes in with her W, you can lantern her out. But most importantly is Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao only has one way to go. Xin Zhao only goes forward. He has no escape tools. So if he gets himself in a rough spot, the only way out is a lantern from Thresh. So I like that pick. It's a good duo with Tristana if they send it down to the bot lane, and they ban him. No. strange, just taking away comfort from Potato, I suppose. Don't want to give him anything that he feels good about. Don't want to let him empower that Jinx with one of those enchanters. Bans coming through for Team 8. They're thinking about it a long while. Banning again from Billy the Corki. Last time they banned away Corki and another scaling mid laner. I don't remember what it was. I believe. No, they banned Corki and Urgot. Excuse me, I'm looking at it. So we'll have to see. Maybe they banned the Urgot again here. Really a bad matchup for Set. It's just pretty much whatever. And yeah, kind of expected from Team 6 that they ban this Lulu here. They don't want that hyperscaler Jinx getting even stronger with the buffs. They banned Garen instead, a beefy frontliner to put in front of that Tristana. Have to see another Vlad pick for Top Gap Sag here. He says that matchup was good for me last game into the set, so just give me it again. And he just locks it in. Ooh, Sona hover from Team 8. Sona just got changes this patch. And by changes, I mean pretty much buffs. She is way better this patch. She's very, very strong. And I mean, that is one of those enchanters that will buff up the Jinx. You know, she doesn't give her crazy attack speed steroid like Lulu, but she can pretty much buff up her whole team. That is the power of Sona. She brings that to the entire team almost all of the time, just spamming out those buttons, especially when she gets that ability haste stacked up. What is going to round out the comp here? We're going to find out if this is an Echo jungle or mid lane. Have to see what Team 8 wants to pick up. Syndra. Okay. They pick up Syndra in the mid lane, so it is Echo jungle into that Xin Zhao and Syndra blind pick. Syndra is okay here. She's pretty good against Xin Zhao, I'll give her that. Okay against Tristana. Has a rough time against Vlad for sure. Gonna be hard in those team fights to stop him with really anything on Team 8's roster. So Vlad might run rampant this game if Top Gap Sag can pull it off. But what is the mid lane counter pick here from Billy Willard? Not much of a counter pick. Goes for the Galio. A safe pick though. He knows what he's going to do. He's going to tank up. He's going to farm that mid lane, and then he's going to roam his Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao Galio, a very powerful combo, of course. Xin Zhao can go in. Galio just drops the heroic entrance on top of him, and then Xin Zhao can choose whether he wants to knock people out if it's a bad situation, or try to keep them in that Galio circle if it's a good situation. So, overall, couple of pretty decent drafts here. I am not loving Team 8's. I like the Jinx, I like the Sona. Not a big fan of the first pick set. Not a big fan of the Echo first rotation here before you see the matchup. But they go for it nonetheless. Maybe they knew the whole time it was going into the jungle, which is fine. They want to take it into the Xin Zhao. They figure you can just clear and scale up, and once Echo is 6, pretty much Xin Zhao can never kill him, but Echo can never really fight him. So Echo's only real goal this game is to kill Tristana. He cannot kill anyone else realistically, besides maybe when he's really strong. He can take down that Thresh, who's going to be pretty squishy because of the lack of gold income for supports. As for carrying forward into the game, we'll have to see how both of them scale up. I mean, Tristana and Vladimir, excellent scaling champions, but Sona, Jinx, and Echo all scale crazy well, especially that Jinx, so good on the 2 or 3 items when she's getting buffed up by Sona. Sona better in the mid game now, not the hyper late game. Before level 16, she's better post level 16. She's slightly worse. But I mean, support getting to level 16 is such a rarity that the scaling should be pretty good on the side of Team 8, though I prefer the team fighting capabilities on Team 6. So, as usual, regardless of drafts, you have 5 players on each side. Have to see how they perform on their champions, how they can execute in the game. So we will see that on the other side. We're going to take a quick break, let them finish out the draft, wait for the spectator delay, and catch you at the start of Game 2 here in Open Rampage. So we will see you then. We're back here with Game 2 of Open Rampage Week 1. We got Team 6 on the red side and Team 8 on the blue side. Team 6 is up 1-0. We got pings coming out in the bot lane from Team 6. They had a level 1 cheese last game. They're looking for another one here. Looking for it possibly in the tri-bush. It looks like they're going to go for that hug up against the wall so they can't have vision. And then you walk into the tri-bush here. Ooh, Jinx. Learned their lesson from last game. She just wards the bush and walks away. A smart play from Thug Life there. He knows they're likely to go for an invade again in this game. They're level 1. Again, pretty strong with that Thresh. Good pick. They did get to sweep out the ward though, so nothing really lost on the side of Team 6. Looking at the jungle matchup here, Xin Zhao is of course favored in the early game. Have to see what he can do with it this game. He doesn't quite have the priority that he did last game from his mid laner. Galio can shove in the waves, but Syndra, of course, has way more early pressure against the Galio than an Orianna did against the Graves. Graves with that crazy wave push. Xin Zhao is starting the blue buff, and Echo is starting the red buff, so they're starting the same side. And if Xin Zhao and Echo meet at a crab, well, of course, Xin Zhao wins. But Echo's set likely to have priority, so he can come in to help the Echo here. Have to see if Darter Wolf can get that wave shove, can get in there to help out. Looks like Billy Willard doesn't do anything except for press Q on the wave and auto it, so he does get priority here in the mid lane. Darter Wolf as well getting priority in the top lane. Zorpazorp going for a less aggressive clear this time. Goes for the blue buff into the Gromp, so won't be so farm starved, not all inning on a gank or an invade this time. He's just going to go for a more standard clear. From my time playing Xin Zhao, I've learned that you basically always skip the Krugs on your first clear. Unfortunate you lose out on that farm and gold, but otherwise his clear is a little too slow. That is one of the weaknesses of Xin Zhao, is his clear speed in the early game. So yeah, we are missing our color caster for the time being. We'll have to see if Malygos' internet does come back here. But for now, we've got the cast on the day nonetheless. Billy Willard pretty chunked out in the mid lane here, but he goes for the Justice Punch onto Syndra, does a chunk, gets the Aftershock proc, backs away nonetheless. Trade in the top lane here, but as we learned from last game, nothing really going to result from these most of the time. Xin Zhao doing his red buff right now. Crab is going to be up in 10 seconds. Let's see if he moves towards his Krugs or straight towards the Crab here. I really hope it's straight towards the Crab. He smites the red buff. He's not going to have smite for Crab, and Frosty is. But Zorpazorp has his Galio moving up with him preemptively into the river. Set isn't here. I wonder, Frosty doesn't know that Xin Zhao doesn't have the smite. Galio flashes in. He lands the taunt on the Echo, and they just one-shot him. Frosty can't get the flash away, not expecting that burst. Or not expecting to get taunted up there, but nonetheless. Ooh, Darter Wolf is contesting Xin Zhao here, but buddy, that's a Xin Zhao. He's so strong early game, gets the knockup. Vlad coming in as well. Set does have that Haymaker to shield him up, grabs it under the turret, pulls Xin Zhao, but Xin Zhao doesn't quite take the turret shot. He does last second, but the Triumph comes in and it doesn't matter. 2-0 lead for Team 6 right off the bat, abusing the early game power of that Xin Zhao, and really teammate not respecting it. Oh, we're not done though. Echo is here. Xin Zhao does smite up the Crab, gets the health boost. That's nice to see. Echo not going to land the stun. Galio is here, but so is Set. Careful dashing in there, Xin Zhao. Set's not going to get the face breaker or anything, and they're going to be able to back up to the Crab here. Things don't stop. A nice little knockback from the Syndra there. Scatters the weak and tells Galio to get away, though she is very low on mana. Started that Dark Seal, actually, so doesn't get that mana gen from last hitting minions. An aggressive pick. She knows Galio's not going to be killing her, so she just takes the greediest choice in the Dark Seal. Well, she didn't take Refillable Pot, so could be a little greedier, but Sona stacking up that new passive in the bot lane here. We'll have to keep track of those stacks for you. Not terribly relevant right now, but in the mid game, have to treat it a bit like a Cynic, because those are really big, important power spikes for her to see just how much CDR she can get and how much piano playing she's going to get to do on her keyboard. Top lane going well again for top gap Sag. Set had to run away to help at the crab. It dies to the Xin Zhao, so the Vladimir is up 10 CS in a lane. He really shouldn't be, though. Set has an entire way to collect under his turret here, so things should get fairly close to even, depending how well he last hits it. But Vlad with a nice slow push does get a free recall here. Not going to have to use his TP. Thresh walking up for the flay. There's too many minions, though. He's going to have a hard time landing the hook. Exhaust goes out onto Sona. Jinx at about half health, but nothing going to come of it. Now he's going to look for the hook. Held it so long and lands a nice one onto Jinx. But Tristana, you're going a little crazy there. Xin Zhao is here as well. Getting the autos onto Echo. A TP coming in behind. Can Xin Zhao finish the Echo? Yes, he does. Can Jinx get excited? Yes, she does. She's running around. Xin Zhao chasing her down, and the spear lands. Wind becomes lightning, becomes a dead Jinx, and Galio putting down the hurt on Desona, takes her out with one big punch, and that is another one fight for Team 6. This one a little bit closer, but still a win. Nice TP from Top Gap Sag. Contributing to his team this time. They're going for the dragon here. And as we are missing our color caster in the meantime, while Team 6 gets the dragon, we do have a streamer, so he will be joining me periodically here.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Provide
My
a
name's
little
Taco.
extra commentary.
I am a smooth brain ADC player, so my color commentary will be not very helpful, but I'll do my best, you know.
Well, you know, sometimes you gotta color outside the lines.
Ah, I like it. Good thinking.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
But Team 6 off to a real good start here. Almost 1,000 gold lead and a mountain dragon in their back pocket, so they're pretty happy with where they're at. Xin Zhao and Galio ahead. Two pretty good people to have it. Maybe you don't want so much gold on Galio, but I'll tell you what, man. That Galio does a lot of damage when he has gold, so I'm sure Billy doesn't mind.
Galio value could be quite high. Gotta fight in the bot lane.
They come in the bot lane, but they're actually just going to disengage because Echo is here. That's a dead Thresh. Nothing only cheese strats can do. Echo going straight for the Tristana, though. They're trying to get two of them. He does get her. The Galio coming in. Double kill for the Echo with a slam. The heroic entrance from Galio takes him out. Galio slamming down on the Sona as well. So, really a 2 for 2 there. Another 2 kills for Billy Willard. Let's look at how much gold he has. 3,300, 800, or 900 in the bank ready to spend right now.
Yeah, he's
so
at
he's
like
working towards
1K over that Syndra right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He's working towards a proto boat real fast. Fool comes out from the Vlad, dodging out on the true damage from the Haymaker there, but he's just farming up, man. That's all he needs to do.
Galio, it's so useful when you have team members like the Tristana and the Xin Zhao who just want to go in, you know? Being able to ult on top of them and get really good placement is so valuable. Oh, gotta get top lane.
Yeah, here comes Xin Zhao. Darterwolf just used everything. He can't do anything here. He does land the showstopper and kills him with the punch. Nice, has the Conqueror stacked up just enough that that punch has 4 ranks, and it does take out Top Gap Sag. And nice flash comes in from the Galio here. Sona is there to protect, but Sona no ult, so they're not going to be able to take down that Galio. And Top Gap Sag, un poco greedy there, mi amigo. Your Xin Zhao was just going to solo kill that set. He had no cooldowns, so didn't need to walk up, but that death, not the end of the world, of course. Team 6 still in a really good spot.
Yeah, definitely inspired by Nuguri Vladimir of just going for every possible gold advantage possible. So
every fight could be an outplay.
Exactly. That's the attitude, I guess. W hits.
Yep, zapping up on the Tristana here. Jinx W, not that much damage at this stage of the game.
Yeah, Sona's still not level 6. Should be ticking up anytime soon, but Jinxes are there. It is.
Real soon, and there it is. Let's get a checkup on her stacks. Does it tell you? Yeah, it does. 31 stacks. So that is 16 ability haste, I do believe it says. Yeah, pretty decent chunk of cooldown reduction for her there. More than 10% already.
Was trying to figure out where I could find that in the spectator UI.
If you just if you click on Sona, it just appears above her. It's the farthest left, to the left of her support item goal.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Hook
Learning
dodged out
things
by the
about
Sona. Gonna get
Sona.
some stacks up here, but the Lantern comes in for the Xin Zhao. He's immobile, but not anymore. He comes right over the wall. Crescent Guard coming out, but he knocks away the Sona, and they're not going to get the knock up onto her. Ooh, Wind becomes lightning, just barely misses. So they walk away safe here. Thresh Hook, nice sitting behind the corner, but nothing's going to come of it. Sona potentially looking for something there, but nope, just getting a few more stacks. Galio was hovering down, so they don't want to overcommit into a heroic entrance again.
Yeah, you do have. I mean, Galio is almost got to be finished with that proto belt soon, right? And he's going to be so strong.
Yeah.
As we're coming up on this next dragon, Thresh flashing in.
Whoa! Thresh flashes in. Ooh, field goals the Hook, just barely predicting a Jinx shoot, but this is a nice parallel conversion coming in from Echo. Stun up
Beautiful
onto
Echo
Thresh.
W.
He is done for. Here is the Galio, though. Heroic entrance. He slams down. The hero is here. He goes in wildly into 4 people. Syndra is here. Lands the ult into the Scatter of the Weak. Doesn't really stun anyone up, though.
Teleport
Galio
from
just
set.
walks out of that. Set
Everybody
is here.
flashes away from his
Ooh,
aim.
they all flash from him. The Facebreaker doesn't land. He is going to showstopper into that Tristana. Doesn't land the true damage, though. Just needs a punch. The taunt comes through, but he does end up getting Hedge 20. Taunt doesn't last long enough to save Hedge's life from Billy Willard. A nice attempt, but overall a crazy fight. And Darterwolf dead on the blue side. Tristana dead on the red side. Looking at the dragon here. Rift Herald dropping down on the turret as well.
Teleport coming in from.
That's a TP from Vlad. Coming in from the flank here. Head on, actually. Echo is very low. He doesn't have his ult or anything to get it out, but the shutdowns come on either side. 300 gold to the Vlad, 300 gold to the Echo. Both very good candidates to get it. Now it's just some very awkward posturing around Dragon for both teams.
Jinx going for a W
doing
steal.
it.
Hits it
Can
down
they
to
get
39.
it? Ooh, just barely 39. The Vlad claims it. The box comes out. Thresh tanking up the Aftershock. Is it enough? Jinx gets the kill. She gets excited. Can she run away? I think she is out. They're going to look for a tower dive on her.
Vlad goes completely wide.
Doesn't land. Not
going
close enough. Tristana not going to go crazy. So, yeah. Nice. Thug Life gets the kill and runs away with the get excited. Well played.
Yeah. It's kind of a miracle for Jinx that she didn't die there and that her bounty goes unclaimed. I mean, that was so
nice.
close. But yeah, Jinx is in a really strong spot. 20 plus CS ahead, 2 kills and the assists. Definitely going to be really, really strong.
Yeah.
I guess I'd rather have gold on a Jinx than a Galio, even though the value is really high. So they've got that
gold
going
in good spots on the blue side for sure. And, I mean, that Echo is really strong. Look at him. He's got a Proto Belt and a Recurve Bow working towards his Nashor's Tooth. And look, he's going for another kill in the mid lane. Stun lands onto the Galio. Ooh, that's a really wide parallel convergence. Not going to get the stun, not going to get the shield. Putting out some damage onto this Galio, but he's a pretty beefy boy. He's got the Merc Treads and that innate magic shield, so he doesn't really mind when an Echo's pounded on him a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for anybody to kill Galio except for Jinx, I think, because he's going to be so resistant to the Echo and Cinder damage just innately. It's all going to be Jinx trying to not get CC'd by him and burn him down.
Yeah, the Echo and Cinder are going to need a few items before they can really knock down that Goliath. But for the time being, he is a damn tanky boy. Even for that Echo who we were just talking about, is pretty strong in his own right now. Whoa! Flash in from Billy Willard. Taunt comes in. Xin Zhao is here. He flashes. Wind becomes lightning. Just smacks him up with the spear. Shows him what's what. That's feels bad, man, for Hosley. Just CC chained.
Wow.
Neither of them hesitant to flash in at all.
Yeah, I mean, you can't flash taunt anymore in Galio like you used to be able to, but that works almost as well. It's just technically more of a skill shot, I guess. So
flash and dash into taunt range is just as good. Oh, top cap Sag, bad spacing. Walks into melee range and Set just gives him the 1-2.
Oh, man.
Shows him what for, but Thresh is walking up too far. The traps come in. The Sona lands her ult on the Tristana, but not the Thresh. Jinx is getting excited. The hook lands onto Sona instead of the Jinx, but Tristana does have that big old jump, so she gets away. Galio was hovering, but nothing he could do there, so...
Oh well, Jinx is still really far ahead. And we are seeing, I mean, the Sona, as long as she's able to stay out of range and not get hit by, Thresh Hook or Galio taunt, the amount of impact she can have is crazy. So, very scary duo, but If Galio can get
Absolutely.
its CC down onto him, then obviously it all changes. But that's the name of the
Jinx
game.
hasn't shopped yet. She's
Rocket
gonna
jump,
have the mythic out.
Malphite.
Whoa, Tristana goes in.
Malphite.
She does have the reset on her jump, but she's still going in further. Oh man, you had the reset, Hedge 20. You could have just jumped out there, man, but
Yeah.
he insists on going for it. Yeah, that is the
That's the
Malphite tactical play for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Here is Set going back in. I don't think he
Crazy
can pull this one out.
haymaker.
Big true damage onto the Xin Zhao, but he doesn't
Wow.
quite have the sustain.
Almost
Punches
killed
through.
Zin. That was
Almost
way
gets
too
it.
close.
Top Gap Sag not doing as much damage as Gazorpazorp would hope, but still they end up getting the kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely nice that they didn't accidentally give away a trade kill, but it's way too close considering that it's a 1v2 and how strong this Zin is with this Core Drinker. So.
Echo just taking the turret in front of Thresh.
Yep, Thresh
has
can't
that
do
attack speed, nice and easy. Yeah, no one there to actually follow up on Thresh's CC. So Galio not going to be able to heroic entrance down or anything, so Frosty claims this whole wave. Getting stronger and stronger. Jinx buys up that mythic. She's got the Kraken Slayer. Everyone in this game has their mythic except for the Sona. Still working towards what you have to assume is that Shirelia, she did take a pit stop for the tier.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The tier definitely delays that, but I mean, it means she can just spam heals forever, so.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Gonna assist her scaling big time.
Ooh,
Hook
Echo
barely misses onto Echo, but he's still in a bad spot. He has to flash out.
Really forcing the issue with the dragon coming up in not too long from here.
Yeah, no Echo Flash is a big deal for sure. Gonna make it harder for him to get on your backline and get out here.
Soul Point is definitely gonna be really big. It is another Infernal Soul. And Echo being so low, he does have ult, but he saved it, so he's not gonna ever be back to full HP.
Yeah.
Oh.
Parallel conversions going wide. Crescendo comes in, lands onto one person. Set goes in, doesn't get the stun from Aziz. Xin Zhao's in the middle of 3 people. Dashes onto the Jinx from across the world. Gets the Gore Drinker, almost takes her out. Red Smite taking down, but not going to take her. Set is here. He doesn't have the Haymaker, can't save himself. Echo goes in, almost gets the kill on Tristana. Echo's forced to ult out. Billy Willard, too much of a threat. And here's Vlad on the flank. Syndra doesn't know he's there, putting out some damage onto her. Doesn't have that empowered Q yet. Can he drop the Hemo Plague onto 3 people? There it is. The taunt comes out to follow from Galio, and that's going to be a kill onto Hosley. Empowered Q comes on to Echo, but the stun lands. Does he have full? He does. Yeah, that's a free getaway card. Sona not going to be able to finish him off, thankfully. Taunt, not going to hit. That Sona's really fast with that E. So, another dragon fight, another absolute banger of a fight.
Yeah.
Split basically 3 ways there.
It's like across like 3 different screens, probably, you know, the circumference of the fight was probably like 80 Teemos or something.
That's a good measurement, I think.
Yeah, definitely. But the dragon didn't actually go down, so we're probably going to
we're gonna get another one
real quick because it's still Soul Point. And if Blue Side, if they're able to get this dragon and delay that, that will definitely help. And obviously, Infernal Soul is terrifying, or even just one Infernal Dragon is helpful.
Yeah, Infernal Dragon stats are excellent, and putting yourself 1 away from that puts so much pressure on the enemy team. But Top Cap Sag is in the top lane. He doesn't have TP to get in here, but maybe Darterwolf just dies immediately, lands a big punch onto the Tristana. So he lives. He has the Gore Drinker as well. Not enough damage there. The DPS isn't there for the set. He gets another Gore Drinker. Gore Drinker from the Xin Zhao comes out. The Crescendo comes out as well. Echo is living, and that is 3 kills for Team 8. 4, actually. My mistake. And an Infernal Dragon to their name, of course. Kill everyone except for the guy who wasn't there, so big win for them.
I think it's about as perfectly as it could have gone. I mean, they even get to maybe save this top tower here now because of the Syndra teleport. I mean,
maybe.
They'll probably get it, but delay that and basically make sure that they get essentially nothing except for a few extra farm on the Vlad. But that's a huge turnaround for Team 8. And maybe actually taking back control. I mean, at this point, I just noticing they're actually like 4k gold ahead. You wouldn't have felt it based on how the red team was positioning around Dragon for a while there, but they're actually quite a bit ahead just because of Set and Jinx and Echo being so strong.
Yeah, Echo and Jinx are really, really strong right now. Look at that Echo attack speed. He can just auto-attack people to death with that Nashor's tooth. He's really strong right now.
Yeah.
Super strong 2-item power spike for him. Looking onto the Vlad, but he's got to clear his jungle.
Yeah, he's just going to be clearing the jungle so fast. I mean, he's not like, I guess Echo's not considered to be inherently like early a super fast jungle clear like Xin Zhao is, but at this point he's going to be nuking those camps and just increasing his lead.
Yeah, not the fastest jungler, but once he gets those items online, he definitely starts one-tapping those camps pretty quick. Let's get a Sona stack update in the lull here because she is, of course, scaling as well, strong in her own right. Did go for the Moonstone rather than the Shirelias, so no
Okay.
engage, disengage power, but more raw power in the fight just through that healing. And she does have 84 stacks, aka 42% ability haste. So a
Hook lands
ton
on
of
this.
free ability haste for her here. Syndra gets caught out by the death sentence. Will it actually
Oh, the
kill
really
her, though?
cute
Sona's here
crescendo
to
over
help
the
her
wall.
out. The heal comes out, and yeah, the Sona Crescendo did delay over the wall. Whoa, Galio flashing in. He taunts up. The Zonia's is going to end too fast. Not going to get anything. Galio in the middle of everyone here. Set picking him up. That's a beefy boy to throw into the team with the Showmaker. They can't kill this Set here. He's just running out, and Thug Life lands the Ultra Mega Death Rocket.
Do not
He's going to
want
run in. He's getting excited. Is he going to get all the resets? He can chase down everyone here. Darterwolf gets the kill. Jinx is excited. Echo kills Tristana on the backside, and Team 8 is going to go for the Baron here, you have to imagine.
Yeah, I mean, they're so strong at this point, like, the way that fight went. Eventually, Set got there in time. Thresh lands a hook onto him, and that's the one person you do not want to pull in. He just wants to be in the middle of everybody. I don't know. I'm not really sure how they're going to deal with this Set at this point, because nobody does enough damage. Like, Vlad's not strong enough yet. Trist is way too far behind to do significant damage, and Galio, despite being as strong as he is, just can't do it, and they are burning down the Baron.
Yeah, they don't have the DPS to take out that Set. They have the Gale Force Tristana, so not as much DPS as a Kraken Slayer, and he's behind anyways, so he just only has the one item. He does have the Executioners for the Gore Drinker, but I mean, man, that's just not enough. And
No.
Set just finished Asterix. Echo just finished an entire Zonia's Hourglass. Team 6 is in trouble for sure.
But did he get the stacks on the Seekers? Probably not. It's okay.
Someone just gives you the full stats anyways. It doesn't matter. Echo's so rich here, he doesn't even have time to finish his tier 2 boots because he's buying up full items with his Bill Gates wealth.
Sponsored by FTX. No, I'm kidding.
Not quite.
No, can't legally say that.
Sponsored by Dogecoin.
There you go. That we can say that. That's okay.
Can we? I don't know.
Probably not. Satire. All right.
Regardless, Echo running into the jungle here. Who's going to stop him? Nobody. That's the answer.
Yep.
Sona's running around with her boy here, buffing him up, speeding him up. And Echo with a Sona speed buff as if the man isn't fast enough when he procs that passive.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't go Shirelias, so she's not going maximum velocity, but
yeah,
it's still a nice speed boost. Boost?
Yeah,
talk today.
Boost.
Too much going on. Too exciting. The Sona rework is too exciting for me to talk about.
Oh yeah, that riveting Sona gameplay will get you.
The riveting Sona gameplay.
It's like watching a symphony in action.
Yes, as difficult as playing a real cello.
Yeah.
At Champion, yeah.
Yeah, well, as we all know, Sona well known for her cello playing.
That's the first classical instrument I could think of.
Scatter of the Weak lands onto Thresh here, a stun. He's going to get chunked out. Drops the box out of fear for his life. But they're going to take down the mid turret here. Darterwolf just got done taking out the top turret, so more and more gold going into the pockets of Team 8 here, and they're walking towards the dragon. I like to see this from Darterwolf. He's just here. No TP needed. He is just running down after he takes the top turret. A good timing, so all 5 teammates are here. And Team 6 is going to be forced to entirely give it up. I mean, really, they're just hoping at this point that their Tristana can scale, that their Vladimir can scale, because right now a team fight win is not in the cards.
Yeah, I mean, they set that up so nicely, right? Because it's like, okay, Set, it's not like he came straight to the dragon, but he wasn't really giving anything up because top lane was pushed out, bottom lane was pushing out. They set that up really nicely, so there was nowhere else they needed to be, and forced everybody else in their team to go different directions.
Thresh gets a hook, but it's onto the Set. I don't know if you can go in there. He does, though. No box. The Crescendo misses, but Tristana and Malphite ults into the middle of him. Set is here. Yeah, there he is. He's looking for the showstopper. Is he going to get the facebreaker onto the Tristana? He doesn't quite get the haymaker, but he does with the flash in. Nicely played. A double kill to the Set. Gore Drinkers, he gets the triple kill potentially.
Oh my
Jinx
god.
resetting, getting excited, and Set gets a triple kill there. A nice W flash from Darter Wolf. That's what you like to see out of the Set player.
That was so nasty. I mean, Set tanked like so many turret shots and so much damage. Got a great
Oh,
haymaker.
yeah.
And then Jinx was just like killing the entire team at the same time with her Rudons. That was scary. I don't know. They're so far behind at this point. I don't really see a way for them to easily come back without some sort of throw teammate. They are just
I
going
mean, that set is just too beefy. A big 3-man Hemo Plague, but he pulls in and he's not going to get anything. He does Proto Belt in. Can he get the damage onto Jinx? He flashes in, has the empowered Q, takes her down. That's a shutdown. Trist is coming in as well. They took out the Syndra, but Echo's going to be hard to kill. Set's going to be hard to kill. Can't get the chase in, but still a nice shutdown over to Vlad. Still that scaling threat. When he gets 3-4 items, he is an absolute monster if he can play those team fights correctly. No Sona is going to save you from that, man. But for the time being, it's still really rough. Jinx 3 items. Kraken Slayer with so much attack speed and even the utility from the Executioners. Echo hasn't gone shopping yet. Set just bought an entire Titanic Hydra. He's opting for the math set here. Biggest haymakers in the business.
There you go. Yeah, he's Breaking Bad. And you do see that Tristana built a Mortal Reminder straight up as second item. I know it's rough against the Set, but I feel like that just feels so bad.
I mean, Set's he's just tanky, man. Like, the Gore Drinker, sure, it makes him tanky, but he's got the Sterix, he's got so much health, he's got that big shield from the Haymaker. Like, the Mortal Reminder's not going to solve that problem. You just need more damage. You need a proper damage item, so you need to work towards an Infinity Edge, you need a Phantom Dancer, something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, I would even say if you're going to go for, like, a pen anti-tank item, I'd rather almost see, like, Lord Doms at this point, because at least you get, like, you still get the crit. It does actually help against everybody else, too, because it's the flat pen.
Lord Doms would absolutely be better. I mean, Mortal Reminder, it's not even a tank-killing item anymore. It's just healing reduction.
Right.
So, definitely, Lord Doms would kill the Set infinitely faster here, and so would the Phantom Dancer. So,
yeah,
not the best item to pick up for the Tristana here, but regardless, this is a tough game. Here, Thresh is caught out by the Echo, gets pulled back in by the Facebreaker, and Strong Potato just takes the kill. I imagine that Sona's at full stacks by now. Let's take a peek. Not quite 111. Pretty damn near, though. Good enough. Sieging up on the top turret here.
To place Vision against this team at this point as you die.
Yeah, when you're this far behind, it's really dangerous to even walk in your own jungle because it's not really yours.
Sidra had to flash out there, actually got in a little bit of a scary spot, but she'll be okay. Vlad's trying to go for some sort of flank.
He is behind the entire team here. We'll have to see what sort of Hemo Plague he can get. He's onto the back line, gets knocked back by the Scatter of the Weak, doesn't pull it on the front line. The Crescendo comes through, stuns up the Xin Zhao. Set putting out a lot of damage. The pool comes out from Vlad. The empowered Q comes out. The Proto Belt. Can he tap the E? He does. Gets the Jinx down at least. But Echo takes out another one on the backside. Hedge 20 is dead. 4 dead on the red side. Only 1 on the blue side. So, gonna look like an ended game here for Team 8. Tying it up 1-1 once this Nexus explodes.
Yep. Well, looks like we got a best of 3 in our hands. And it's gonna be definitely exciting. Props to Team 8 for running it back and making it work with the Set.
Yeah, they do. They just blind pick first pick the Set. I was talking trash on it. I'm still not a believer, but they proved me wrong a little bit there.
Is it definitely the opposite of a caster curse?
Yeah, I guess so.
Made it too good.
Wolf definitely performing better this game. Had some really good team fights, some good showstoppers for sure. So good to see him cleaning up the play this time. And of course, Thug Life, Frosty putting in so much work as well, both getting super fed and using their advantages properly. So a rough game for Team 6. Their picks don't get to come online. Their Galio and Xin Zhao get ahead, but they don't get to get that crazy snowball going. So we'll have to see how they change up the strategy. Going back to blue side next game, see what their first picks are, what their answers are. Maybe they ban away the Set. Maybe they have a different counter to it. But until then, we'll just have to see and catch you for the third and final game of this series of the first week here in Rampage Open. So we will see you then to see who is crowned the victor. Welcome back. We're here in Game 3. Team 8 just tied it up, took it back to 1-1. Here for the best of 3. Right into draft. Team 6 looking for the ban. They do have to give up 2 of them. Wouldn't be surprised to just see him get rid of the Samira, leave the other 2 blank, as they do have an emergency sub here in the bottom lane for the support. But more interested to see how the drafts adapt since they have swapped sides from red to blue here. They did get beaten pretty handily last game. They had the early game lead on their mid and their jungler, but it didn't turn into anything. So we'll have to see teammate banning that Shaco. Don't want Gazorp to have fun.
Nope. And I wonder if we'll see a set ban this game, considering that it did actually work out pretty well for teammate this time around. Maybe they want to force him into something that he's not as comfortable on and try to get a better lane or top gap.
Yeah. If they ban set, they're gonna have to give up the Samira ban though. The one ban is really not good for Team 6 here. Unfortunate for them. So
yeah,
they do have a really hard choice to make here. They want to ban one of those comfortable champions. Jinx maybe as well. Just covering, but they do lock it in. They ban the Jinx away. Don't want to deal with that long range hyper scaling ADC. But there are plenty more like her. Could even see something like the Kog'Maw come out. He's deceptively strong right now.
Love Kog'Maw.
And
that's a good
they
point.
pick up the set for themselves. Top Gap Sag says, "I can play that champ. Come on, what do you do? You just punch people? I can play that guy. Give me that guy."
Simple enough, yeah. I wonder how they're going to respond. I mean, I really doubt we're going to see a reverse matchup. I don't expect teammate to just pick Vladimir.
Oh
Jax.
Jax is Darderwolf's most played champion, and Jax pretty good against Set actually. So maybe Top Gap Sag just walked right into a trap right there.
Maybe in a trap, and they do take the Samira. Now that it's
they
not
do
banned.
take the Samira. Xayah could be a good pick here. Not that bad against Samira, and does have that self-peel capability if Jax jumps on her with the leap strike. So a decent pick against aggressive champions so far. Two short range aggressive champions. So Xayah is a pretty decent pick here. Have to see what they pick with it. Of course, their con is always on the table. A little scary to pick when you don't see the enemy support, but could pick it up nonetheless. Kayn, this early in the draft would be a crazy pick from Gazorp, but they could pick it up here.
Yeah, I mean, Kayn's really strong right now. You can go blue or red Kayn with Gore Drinker, and he's really difficult to kill, especially blue Kayn, because he has so much slipperiness, and he will lock it in.
Yeah, Kayn is really annoying, but still an awkward pick to go for when you don't see the team. Though, yeah, that Gore Drinker blue Kayn build does kind of fill in all the gaps, lets him do a little bit of everything, a little DPS, a little burst, tanking, etc. So it is a little bit more viable to early pick him nowadays, and of course, teammate takes away the recon. None of that. No, none of the lovers do in the bot lane. Galio taken away as well. Yeah, a good choice from Team 6. I mean, Echo Jax and Samira all have capabilities to get in there and set up that heroic entrance, so smart to just ban it away, I think.
Yeah, that would even be more of a scary, I think, team comp to deal with the Galio being on than we saw last game. Jax really wants to go in, turn on his ult, and just become so difficult to deal with, and so does Samira, so does Echo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming out, that's an interesting one.
I mean, Anivia is really good against their team, so if they think Billy is willing to pick it, it's a good ban because it would counter all 3 of these champions here. Echo a little less so, but even then, if his E is down, it's so annoying for him if he just gets walled and then the ult comes out from Anivia. Lulu banned again from Team 6. Don't want to deal with it. I mean, it's not exactly good with Samira, but of course it is still a crazy scaling enchanter. Pretty decent poke in lane, so they just get rid of it. But instead, teammate says, yeah, okay, we'll just take the premier engage support. We'll pick Leona here. Really good combo with Samira, of course, and another piece to this dive comp, which I will say the Xayah pick is looking better and better by the second.
Yeah, I was a little bit leery of the Xayah pick being so early, but if this is what they were expecting, then yeah, definitely helpful. Even though there are other damage carries that probably do a little bit more. And the Rel Xayah, that's an interesting combo. I guess it probably works similar to like Kai'Sa Rel, has really good
Yeah,
engage options.
Rel is generally an engaged champion, but she actually has really good counter engage too. When that Leona comes in, or that Jax, or that Echo, she can just instantly stun them up with the E into a W and an R, and then the R keeps them magnetized to her and keeps them off of your carries in this Ryze and this Xayah. So I actually like the Rel pick here, so long as Cheese Strats is comfortable on it and using it for heal. And on the other side, we have a Brand pick here.
Is that Brand?
It has to be in the mid lane.
I would expect that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it can, what is it? Is it gonna be Brand jungle? I mean, it's not impossible to play, but I'm guessing it's Brand mid as a counter pick to Ryze.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I mean, into Ryze, if you know you're going into, it's someone who doesn't have a dash, you know, so it's somebody you can try to land skill combos onto is Brand, and he does a ton of damage, even in the early game, so maybe that's what he's going for.
Yeah, and the enemy team has, I mean, really all pretty immobile champions, so Brand passive and Brand ult can do a lot of AoE damage in those team fights. It's an off-meta pick. No one really plays it in the mid lane, but I don't think it's bad here. I like it against this team comp, especially if that Kayn ends up going red Kayn, which is what I expect in this game. He's against 3 melees. He's against a pretty beefy team overall, though he might just say, blue is just better. You can go Gore Drinker on that anyways, and he just goes Conquer and Gore Drinker and goes Blue Kayn.
That seems or more lately,
more likely, I think it's just whichever form he gets. You just get it, and you get the spike as fast as possible. I think that's probably the correct play from Gazorp here. But, I mean, again, I'm liking drafts from both sides these 3 games. Usually I walk away being like, how does one team possibly win this? They trolled in draft, but all 3 games, I think both sides have had a decent chance. I favor Team 6's draft. They have excellent anti-dive and a really good scaling, so I like that to match up against Team 8, but Brand kind of rounds out this comp in an interesting way that could kind of put a wrench in those plans.
Yeah, for sure. It is weird because the first 4 champs of Team 8 are so dive heavy, you know?
Yeah.
And then Brand is not really... Brand is more of just kind of your standard mage, wants to hit spells. I mean, certainly can help with just a lot of damage, chasing people down, you know, even as they're running under towers, they're burning to death still. But seems a little odd at first glance, but I presume that Hosley here knows what he's doing, is probably pretty comfortable on the champ. I don't really see a reason why someone would randomly pick Brand mid unless they're pretty confident in their Brand skills, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Brand, he's not going to be a dive buddy. He's not going to be throwing himself face first into there, right? But he is going to have that pyroclasm, and that in its own right is a dive buddy.
Sure. You put it on and then you run. Then let it finish the job.
You just throw your R in there, press a W, press an E. I did my job. Come on, guys, clean them up.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure. And I mean, considering the amount of CC that Leona brings, that makes Brand's life so much easier to land all of his spells.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, gonna be easy to get a passive proc on at least one person if Leona's CCing them up, and then that can sort of chain into more.
Yeah, and
so we'll have to see.
And I guess teammate, even in like a team fight, you know, if you get Jax stun somebody up into you know, Echo W or something, there is a possibility we see some crazy CC chain where everybody just dies in a pit of fire.
Samira passive. Teammates got a really good CC chain. They got a pretty good pick here. Leona good at picking. Echo pretty good at making picks as well. So as far as the team fights go, I favor Team 6. They got excellent anti-dive. Team 8 has better pick, better burst, and of course crazy pop-off potential with that Samira, that Brand, that Echo, that Jax. Really, any of those champions can just start killing everybody if the fight goes ideally for them.
Yeah, they do need
we'll
to
have
snowball,
to see.
For sure. I think with this comp to try to get ahead, but if they do, it's going to be really hard to come back. But I guess Team 6 always has the option of sitting back, trying to kite, trying to, you know, wait it out, and, you know. So I guess, I would give Team 6 a little bit more scaling option for sure if things do poorly in the early game.
I agree.
If they don't win early.
Xayah and Ryze at 3 items is a really big problem for Team 8. That Jax might be able to tear through them, but have to see how they build, how Jax actually does in this matchup. Darterwolf says, well, this is a counter pick, and this is a champion I'm really comfortable on, which he just locks it into the set. So hopefully he performs well on it, because he's a pretty big piece of this team, and that split push pressure as well. Though I will say, Ryze is pretty much always going to beat him in the side lane, because Ryze just casts his spells on you, he roots you, he does damage to you, and then he runs away with phase rush, and you can't even trade with him as Jax.
It's true, that movement speed is going to be really helpful.
Yeah, but we will have to see, again, close drafts, differing styles for sure, but I like to see one team drafting to actually counter the other, so we'll have to see how that plays out in game, if the Xayah can use those feathers to just annihilate the entirety of Team 8, or if the brand Pyroclasm does the same to Team 6. But we'll find that out when we get into Game 3, deciding game of this series here between Team 6 and Team 8. So catch you on the other side once the spectator delay is over. Back at Game 3 of Open Rampage, Week 1. Here we are, the final deciding game between Team 6 and Team 8. Everyone in the chat saying good luck, have fun. Like to see it. A good series so far. A convincing win from each side. This time, it looks like there's no level 1 cheese. Everyone just fanning out for the 5 point. No one covering the mid lane for the red team quite yet, but it doesn't seem to matter. Just fanning out here.
Yep. And do apologize, my overlay is freaking out, so give me 1 second.
Technical difficulties as usual.
Yeah, scuffed. A little scuffed, but it's okay.
You know, in a production, it happens. No action, so not missing out on a whole lot for the time being. Everyone just sitting in their positions. I will say, top gap Sag.
There we
go.
You know,
I didn't want to point it out in game last time, but Darterwolf, he did. He picked the worst set skin in the game. He picked Mecha Kingdom set.
I was wondering when
top gap Sag. Well, I mean, this guy, he picked the dragon set skin. That's the good one. So
that is the superior set skin. I do agree.
Yeah. I gotta put a little respect on his name for that. But Darter Wolf, he did perform last game, so I can't hate too much for the Mecha Kingdoms.
He did do super well last game, but it will be interesting to see this new top matchup for the first time this series with the Jax. See how that'll do.
Oh, interesting. Top Cap Sag actually started Q there. Just for the quick trade after the E ends rather than the usual Facebreaker start you'd see from set.
Yeah, usually you go for that E start, I think, on set, right? I'm not a set
Yeah.
but I know that usually is more useful level 1. But,
yeah, super powerful level 1. But the thing about it is if you can't get the stun, which, you need an enemy on both sides to get the stun, it doesn't do much.
Sure.
So the Q start's not that bad if you just want to try to counter Jax after his E ends.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. You see Kane is getting to his blue buff already. Seems like he might be slightly ahead of pace of the Echo, who's finishing up his wolves.
Yeah, Echo not the fastest early clear, and Kane, of course, known for pretty much power farming. A good chunk comes out in the bottom lane. But Rel just gets the jump away nice and easy. Jax can't really trade up here too close to the turret, so
That's
could
a really
be a
good
Kane
trade
coming his way very soon.
Yeah, really good trade bot lane for the Leona to take advantage of the level 2 power spike and definitely making it hard for Xayah to farm the way she wants to, so he'll be stuck under tower.
No, Darter Wolf. Darter Wolf got the free 3-wave push. He can just recall here, but he's up too far against this Kane. Nice dash out from the Samira. Rel is in a little bit of danger, but just takes a chunk and a pretty even trade, all things considered, on the bot side here. The Kane gank doesn't end up working out on the top side. Darter Wolf back far enough. Looks like he got the leap away there, so he's just fine.
Yep. Do you see Brand putting down some vision bot side jungle as they're going for a trade top lane? The Haymaker doesn't land.
Oof,
so Jack's actually winning on the trade here.
You gotta time the Haymaker for that stun. It's a bit of a prediction game, so tough there. Look at Kane. He's going all the way around for this top gank. He's going through the tri-bush and through that big wall in the top lane. Fight in the bottom lane, but let's see what's going on in the top. Kane is putting out some damage onto Jax. Kane, I mean, really doesn't kill Jax, doesn't put terribly too much pressure, but he is working on the orbs for that form, and that is really important. So he got the crab nonetheless in the top side, so not really losing anything for going for that play. And look at him, right back at it. He's in the mid lane now, eating over the wall. Brand is forced to flash, and just a little love tap with the Kane W. That's one orb. Thank you very much.
Getting a little bit of a blue and red orbs mixing up here, so I guess we'll see which he gets faster. Ooh, the stun!
Ooh, a lot of damage out. The root comes onto Echo, but the stun onto Kane. He's taking up so much damage. The Q's going to come through, and it's going to follow back. The burn from the Brand comes in to finish him. And a little bit too far, Gazorp not flashing out of the stun from Echo and just ends up dying because of it. Yeah. You see top cap Sag. Darter Wolf is really low here. If he's not careful, he'll just die.
Yeah, really close to being a first blood in the other direction. Maybe now we'll see a second kill. Jax E does go off.
You can kill him.
Level 5. He's there. Flashes.
Oh.
Ooh. They're both so incredibly low. Just put the ward down. I thought maybe he was going to hop to him.
He's going to kill him,
and kills him.
Top cap Sag, you have to lead with the Facebreaker there, because if you punch before, they're just going to flash out of it. So what you can do there is you can lead with the Facebreaker, and then you can go for the Haymaker to tank up the turret shot, so it's not such a bad trade no matter what. So a little rough for top cap Sag there. Darter Wolf showing off. He's got a little bit of a CS lead, and of course, a kill. And this matchup does not get any easier for set, especially like 1-2 items. Jax is in a really good spot. And Echo is here in the bottom lane, though. Rel just getting stun chained into the parallel convergence, but she flash W's out. The shield comes out, and she is out just fine. CC chain not long enough. They did layer it a bit with the Leona into the Echo stun. So bit of overlap there, and they don't quite get the kill because of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so close. I still thought Rel was going to die anyway, but that tankiness on the jump that she gets from going to the slower, non-horsey form, technical term, just so helpful.
Yeah, I think that's in the ability description.
Yeah, non-horse form. Oh, but she is going to go down now.
Exit horsey form, but she does get CC'd up because she was out of the horsey form. So she's nice and slow for the Leona to get, but Kane coming in here, he's going to get so many orbs from this play. Hedge 20 picks up a kill. Samira has those 6 stacks. She is so fast. Hard to catch her. So.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Set flashes
Flash
behind. He
from
ults
Set.
into the turret, but Jax has the leaf strike, so he just gets
Ah.
out. Top gap Sag, you're not close enough to your turret to go for that, so doesn't quite
Yeah.
work out. Jax doesn't tank any turret shots up, so top gap Sag just loses his flash for really nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's Jax too. Like, he gets to Q to things, so he's totally fine with it. Doesn't have to burn his
good
flash.
trade there, though.
I mean, he had flash down, but doesn't lose anything, and now Set doesn't have his.
Yeah, unless somehow Jax had used his leap at a bad time and gotten ulted out of it by Set, then it would work. But that is super unlikely here. And bot lane, I don't know if you want to recall. I mean, he kind of has to, but man, that feels bad. The wave pushing away from you and everything. But Brand misses his W. It's going to be hard to find the stun here. Ryze is here. Here comes the root, putting out a lot of damage. The bounces come in. The passive procs onto Kane, but he's not going to die from it. But Jax is here with the TP. But guess what? Kane has his ult. He's invulnerable now. Can he run away from this Jax? He took a lot of damage before he entered him. No, he gets rooted under the turret, and Darterwolf is dead. TP for nothing but a death.
That's rough. I mean, he used his E too early because Kane was able to ult out first, and then it ran out of time. Kane bought enough time, and eventually he's able to go a different direction, run over the tower, and able to get away. Oh, and we do see a Brand teleport to the
Brand
same...
is here. Can he actually kill him?
He teleported to the same ward, I think.
He doesn't have his ult up, though, so... Yeah, that's just really sad for Darterwolf there, because he TP'd in before Kane was 6, and then he felt committed to the play when Kane did hit 6. He's like, well, I TP'd, I'm killing this guy. And then he just gets away, he gets rooted under turret, so really sad for Darterwolf. Really good for Top Gap, though. He is definitely Gladge right now. Gets a nice nearly 20 CS lead, gets to push in the wave, gets a turret plate, and now he gets to go back and buy whatever items he wants. He's in a very happy place right now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, because of the CS difference that Jax lost after teleporting, and the plate that went down topside, Set's basically, I would say...
Oh, Leona comes out, the Zenith Blade misses a nice Feather Storm from the Xayah here, and the E pullback does so much damage. Rel, they could have killed that Leona there if they committed. Xayah using her E a little too early, but a nice go back in from the Rel. That's a lot of burst with the Feather pullback. They were waiting for the E cooldown. Smartly played from the blue side here, but Leona with that W up, does she even take damage? Yeah, she does. She's dead. Edge 20 flashes forward when the W drops for the auto attack, so a lot of damage coming in. Kane is back here in the mid lane. He can dodge out of the stun with his ult. Oh, wait, it's actually not up, so he just takes a chunk, gets more orbs for himself. He doesn't care if he takes damage. He's just going to heal off the jungle camps anyways. So a very low risk for him there to just get more orbs and potentially a kill if the Brand severely messes up.
For sure, for sure. I mean, yeah, I think the Kane going blue would have been a little bit questionable, maybe, considering the champions that aren't Brand before the Brand was drafted. But now that you have that, I'm actually realizing blue Kane, if he does end up going for that, I mean, he can one-tap Brand probably later on. Somebody who's immobile and squishy, so...
Absolutely.
That actually might have more value. Otherwise, considering, Jax and everything, I would normally want to say Red Kane might be pretty good, but that's the vulnerability.
Red Kane has the CC. I think Red Kane lends itself a little bit better to this sort of anti-dive theme they have going on. But Blue Kane would also be just fine. Really, I think it's a marginal difference. You just take whichever form you get first.
For sure.
I'm not tracking his orbs super closely, so I'm not sure where he's at on that right now. So we'll have to see when he does get that transformation. It's got to be coming up soon. He's been hitting a lot of people. Oof, that's a big trade from the Jax there. Nice.
Echo's getting pretty low. Yeah, he's fine.
Got the smite to heal up. Kane is here, but ooh. Wow, you really... Whoa! You can't do that. Okay, he just kills himself in the top lane. The kill goes down in the bot lane as well. Frosty getting caught out. Doesn't flash, doesn't ult. Just getting CC change, you have to assume. I didn't see it, but I'm guessing a sort of Rel plus Ryze combo there just CCs him until he's dead.
Yeah, that's what I get for panning down to the team fight, is I totally missed Jax just dying by himself.
Yeah. Darterwolf getting a little too big for his britches. He walked up and stopped Top Gap's recall, which was fine, a good play. Yeah. But then Top Gap walked towards him a little bit, and Darterwolf said, "Are you approaching me?" and instantly queued on him under the turret and died.
Jax may need to actually acquire a real weapon here shortly in order to keep up.
Perhaps he does have a hammer and a sword in his inventory right now, actually,
true.
so he might be cheating. Actually, I'm not sure.
True, he's breaking the outdated lore of,
Yeah.
of him being handicapped and having to use
Can,
a lamp.
Can anyone in Twitch chat check the arena rules? Is he allowed to have 2 weapons?
Yeah, I don't think that
Seems a bit too
applies
much.
anymore, but you know.
Regardless, we do have a fight here in the bottom lane. The Featherstorm comes out, but Samira's going to have that Inferno trigger right here. Huge damage from the Xayah E, but Samira just barely lives enough lifesteal there that she pulls out with that Vamp Scepter plus the Inferno trigger, healing her up just enough.
Oh, so close. I feel like Vamp Scepter is just on champs like Samira and Aurelia and whatnot. You get that, it changes so much about how much you're able to go.
It's a really big difference maker.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when it's Samira and you just get to keep R'ing, like you just do so much damage for free and regen a bunch.
Yeah, it creates a really big HP difference when you're healing and your enemy can't heal at all. But you know what else creates a really big HP difference is a Gale Force active. That thing does a lot.
True.
So you can dodge out on damage with that, and it does a big amount of burst. Really good on Xayah because it lets you reposition for your feathers as well to get the perfect pullback on them. Ooh, very questionable E from the set there. So taking another rough trade from this Jax. Jax really coming into his own, and it's tough for top depth Sag up here. Oh, wait. Oh, he leaped past him. He's going to get ulted into the turret, and he has nowhere to leap out this time. He's going to get ran down, but he can jump to the minions. Not quite. He gets pulled and then autoed before he can do anything. So Darterwolf, again, not respecting the turret. But Zorpazorb has his form finished. It is the Red Cane. Lands that knockup. He ults Echo. Can he hit that eyeball? He does. Can he pick up the Rift Herald? No, he can't. So the Rift Herald's not going to do anything. And Zorpazorb's just taking the red ward while Rise tries to kill Brand here. Not going to quite get the rundown on him because Zorpazorb didn't have his E to follow up anyways. But he could look for something now. See, assistance being pinged in the top lane. Set asking for help. Maybe they want to dive this, but there is absolutely no way without Kayn ult you can do that. That is way too risky against the Jax. So yeah, Kayn is clearing vision up here though.
Alright. Had to step away for a second. Doesn't look like I missed too much though.
You missed. I'm not sure if you were here for Rift Herald, but got denied away from red side. Echo actually finished it, but he didn't get to pick up the eyeball because Rise rooted him before he could, and then he died.
Gotcha. Well,
so unfortunate for Frosty there, and very good for Team 6 for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Who has a 2k gold lead here. Their Rise is very strong. Their Xayah is pretty strong too. Mythic's coming through for most of the people. Except for the support, of course. Set and Kayn going to be able to finish theirs soon. They haven't went shopping yet. Set has 1,400 gold, and Kayn has 1,300 gold. He did stop off for the tier, so he won't have to worry about mana. Give the blue buff to the Rise. Oh, I don't know if you can just fight this Set. Not even going to use his W, but he gets Jax's R. Jax jumps on him. Jax no E to really commit to the fight, though, so he can't chase him down, but still good trades from Darterwolf. Leona's here with the roam. She catches out Rise. The CC chain not quite landing. Just missed timing because that guy, he doesn't even have Merc Tread, so a bit of a mistake here. But Thug Life, goodbye, buddy. You're just perma CC. No, the stun doesn't land. The CC chain doesn't land from only cheese strats, and they can't chain it into a knockup from Kayn. So Thug Life does get away without having to use anything.
Yeah, really, really close. But yeah, Thug Life makes it out just fine. Looks like her heal is about to come up any second, but regardless, still going to be happy to not die there.
She does have that shield bow finish, though. That's a lot of power here. Look at Rel just walking up. Stun comes out onto Echo. The CC stun comes out as well. So that's really tough. Wow, that brand damage onto Rel. Look at Thug. He's just there in the middle of everybody.
Thug
can't get the
little
stacks up. Yeah, he's 3v1. He is dead. But look look at Kane. He can die here if he gets hit by anything else. And yeah, he is dead. The Zenith Blade comes in. A simultaneous escape and finish from Strong Potato. So nice little flash Zenith Blade there. Well played from Hosley to kite out the Kane. But Team 6 does get the Mountain Dragon. Very good individual dragon to have. Of course, like we say. And the next dragon coming up is Ocean. Ocean Soul, still, of course, in its own right, a very powerful one. Not as, direct as the Infernal or the Mountain Soul, but still very good.
Yeah, for sure. Especially on champs like the Kane and Set.
Whoa.
They'll love that extra healing.
Yeah. This whole team is pretty good at extended team fighting.
For sure. Yeah, being able to kite back and get that ocean healing will be very, very useful. I'm not sure. I see the Jax flashed. I'm trying to figure out why. Not sure what happened
the
there.
Set was going to hit him with a nearly fully charged W.
Okay. I guess that's worth, but I feel like he probably would have lived just with HP. Oh!
Yeah, Rise getting caught out here by the Brand stun, and nothing he can do. Kane is top lane. Jax is out of mana. You can't really run away from Kane in this state. He's just going to infinitely Q. He's going to E. He's going to chase you down nice and easy. No one's coming to help you, Tartar Wolf. It's a slow and painful death, my friend.
Yeah, Jax says so. He will have enough gold finally to buy his Divine Sunderer. Definitely not in the position that you want to be as a Jax, but does have that scaling. He'll still always be a threat eventually.
Yeah, Sunder does make the trades much easier for him against this Set here. That healing coming through is going to be a really big deal. Look at Echo. Look how deep he is in that blue side jungle. He has such a good flank here. Oh, but the parallel conversion is not going to land. A little too eager, I think. They could have gone for a potential tower dive there, bait out the ults, and then just ult away as the Echo. But instead, they try to get the pick on the Rel, and it's not going to work out, but he doesn't really lose much for it. Well, actually, he's losing his top side right now.
Yeah,
he should
have got some counter jungling in and able to take the Crux. Always nice experience to take away for free when you don't lose anything for it.
Oh, they're actually willingly matching the Jax into the Rise. That's rough for him, but Brandon, the Set's pretty good, as we can see, so...
Yeah, I guess it's a worthwhile trade. I mean, Brand at this point is pretty sneaky fed. He's actually got the most farm in the game.
Trade-offs for sure, but Kane is here in the top lane. Can he get the knockup?
As I say that.
Knockup. He's going under the turret, but he could get stunned under there, so yeah, walks away. Set's not close enough to follow up. Jax is running up here, though, so they have to be respectful of that. They will lose this 2v2. Not even
Brand's
close.
Looking to maybe interrupt some backs.
Okay.
No, he decides to put it on the wave.
Set gets back. Brand didn't know he's recalling in that bush, and Gazorp is out of there just fine, so Jax comes back top. Brand's going to run back mid, but a really weird rotation timing, so Rise is kind of pounding on that mid turret. Nearly takes it down, but not quite enough minions to do so.
Yeah, we still haven't seen first turret go down yet. It's almost 20 minutes. It's going to be one of these mid towers, probably, I would expect. I guess that's because the Rift Herald didn't get taken by anybody.
Echo's here in the mid lane. Can he land the parallel conversions? It's not coming through. The Everfrost does come through. Rise putting out so much damage onto the Brand, but not going to quite take him out. Hosley does burst him down along with Frosty. So Billy Willard getting taken down here. A strong Rise, but not strong enough to one-shot that Brand.
Yeah. We do see Brand, I think with the Blasting Wand and the health item, I think he's going to be building Demonic Embrace, which is pretty standard, but have a ton of value against champions like Kane and Set and even the Rel.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely a good item choice here versus just going for burst.
Yeah, that infinite HP burn build, sort of the synergy between Leandre's and Demonic Embrace and Brand passive is just really nutty. So it looks like Hedge20 just fat-fingered his Gale Force there, by the way. Unless he did, I mean, maybe he consciously used it to get a singular range creep with CS, but that doesn't seem likely to me.
I mean, it's not super long cooldown, but I don't think that's necessary.
90 seconds is pretty long. I wouldn't go using it for CS.
Versus a Leona as well. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Maybe it can remain. Zenith's Blade comes in, but she's under the turret. The Rel counter engage comes in. A nice Feather Storm onto the Leona ult. He can't pull back the feathers because of a nice Samira W, so a little awkward for him. Set is up here in the top lane. Nicely done. That's exactly what you need to do. Showstoppers him out of the parallel convergence. No follow-up going to come through here. Pulls him in under the turret. Set still has that Haymaker, and Echo decides he's forced to ult. It wouldn't have quite killed him, but still he's a little scared of that big chunk of true damage, so he just ults out there.
Yeah, I mean, getting the HP back on Echo is so valuable. I've heard a lot of discussions about people saying that you should ult early, if anything, just because keeping your HP is more important than waiting to ult when you have maybe, only so much to recover. But
yeah, it can definitely be this early in the game. It's quite a long cooldown, so a little bit less optimal here. But Rel is here, stunning up the Leona. Samira there to CC her again. Gets back on the horse. Kane fails the Q. Can't go through that thick of a wall, my man. Samira CCing him up. Samira does have Inferno Trigger. She has Shield Bow as well. You can't go under that tower. CC Chain goes in as well, though. Chi Strat's interrupting the Inferno Trigger. Ryze doing so much damage under the turret here, but the Leona W making her too tanky. Brand's here. He lands the stun. That Rel is so slow. How do you miss a skill shot on that? So she has forced a flash because, yeah, the Pillar of Flame follow-up was not going to miss. So she has the flash.
For sure. I mean, yeah, Brand in the end wasn't able to get anything back. And Samira did eventually go down. It ended up being a 1-for-1. But I think as Kane, that's okay. I mean, downtime on Samira not getting farm and helping your Xayah get more and more ahead, I think is probably worth at this point.
Ooh,
Brand damage down onto both.
Stuns up on him, but the Brand passive is on to the Ryze, taking down. It lands on the Rel too, but it doesn't get to bounce between them. They're burning down, but it's not going to take them down. They still got a good chunk left in the tank.
Yeah, it got really
I will
low,
say,
which is not enough.
I don't like Gazorp's build here. Getting the Tear is good. Tear is an excellent item on Kane. Always running out of mana because you spam your spells so much. But finishing the Manamune, you're going to be pretty squishy, man. Your team has enough damage. You have Ryze and Xayah. So you could just go for a Sterex here, something a little bit more tanky, a little bit more utility, but the raw damage from Manamune, of course, is going to shred people, but I just think it's a little bit greedy.
Yeah,
here he's getting gone on by the bot lane. He is baiting for the Ryze, though. But the Samira Inferno Trigger comes in. He's doing so much damage to the Ryze, takes him down, just barely dies. And here's the Xayah, though, putting out a lot of damage. The E pullback takes him down. Kane is here healing up, gets the knock up. And that is 2 kills for the blue side. Billy Willard does fall for his efforts, but still a winning trade.
Yeah, I mean, Xayah's getting to basically catch up and overtake Samira at this point, when early in the game it seemed like maybe she was a little bit behind and kind of stuck on farm, having to be so afraid of Leona. She's actually coming into her own now. You see fighting up in the top lane.
Yeah, this is a tough fight for Sett to win. When you don't have your E to set up the W, but he still lands the true damage, he has to ult this Jax stun, but it still comes in for him.
The Wet Noodle
Drinker comes in as well. He can't get the W back up, and yeah, Sett just doesn't really win the extended fight against Jax. I mean, you have to think, how many Sunder procs did Jax get in that fight? 5, 6, 7? Like, so many. So it's really hard for him to win the extended fight, especially Jax is going Bork next.
Yeah,
a really 1v1 centric build for sure, so it's not going to get any better for the Sett if he keeps going for those fights. But Red Kane is here. He does do fine in that extended fight, but the Rel's here to help him out as well. Kane ult comes out. Not going to quite kill. He gets stunned up by the Echo ult. Echo ults back. Lazaya is here to DPS him down. She has Gale Force and everything to chase, but doesn't need it. Kane finishes off the kill. My mistake. Zaya's cooldown on the Gale Force wasn't quite up, so Gazorp forced to flash there.
Yeah, and Jax does barely get out, so good for him to not lose any more gold. And it's not like it was a shutdown at Echo, but considering that Echo's down, that means that they're actually going to start going for the Baron. No smite on the red side team, so
yeah,
probably going to be a free Baron here. Nobody's even close.
It's really scary to put Baron against Brand, but he's not going to be here in time to stop them, so they are just going to pick it up for free. A 25-minute Baron. Ryze melts that thing, so left alone for any amount of time with it, and he just takes it down nice and easy as long as his team's tanking for him.
Yeah, the combined damage of Ryze and Xayah is more than enough to take down that objective, and we do see the next dragon is coming up here shortly, but I imagine Team 6 is definitely going to go for Soul Point here, pushing some lanes. That'll be probably the main thing that this Baron gets for them. Probably not going to be pushing too deep in just yet. But we'll see. Maybe they can get a little bit more or bait an unfavorable fight for red side.
Yeah. We got Twitch chat requesting a spectator timers. If you press the N key, it'll just pull them up so
Oh,
that people can see when
right.
the dragons are coming.
Yeah.
Kane is in here though. He gets ulted back by Echo. I mean, he just goes with you,
Oh
man.
my
The
God.
knockup lands onto the brand, and his mid laner might be in trouble because of him. A nice solar flare from Leona there saves her life. A nice feather storm by the Xayah saves her life from the Jax there, and he goes in a little bit too deep. In the back
Triple
line here,
kill
Brand
for
is dead. That's
Xayah.
a triple kill for Xayah. Kane is still going. He is so strong. Level 15. Look at that beefy boy.
Kane making it into maybe some people's calendars after being so beefy, but is
Oh,
gonna
of
get
course.
right, of course. But he is gonna get this third dragon, another Ocean's dragon, and getting ever closer to the soul. And they are gonna try to push in and take probably this tier 2 here in the mid lane. Definitely trying to open
Yeah,
up
I
the
mean,
map.
Kane and Set this game, definitely the calendar duo
Facebreaker hits
for
the
sure.
Samira.
Facebreaker comes
down.
in, and she's
Oh.
just done. A little bit too close to the big man there. It's taken down. Mid turret's getting pushed down. The stun does land. Not quite onto Billy Willard. Too fast. Just runs out of it and doing a lot of damage to Frosty as well in the meantime. So his team's beating on the mid inhib. Top Gap Sag is here to back him up. Pillar of Flame is going to miss, but the stun does not. This brand does do a lot of damage, but this blue team's just a little too strong right now. You're going to need a miracle fight from the brand here, especially in a team fight setting that Jax is going to have a really hard time performing.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about how they're probably not going to get that much objectives off the off that Baron, but after getting a couple kills, I mean, they get 2 inhibs and they're able to get just so much map pressure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Top Cap Sag, maybe a little bit overextended here. If Third Wolf's team was there to help him, it's definitely a dangerous game. And this is still not a fight that Top Cap Sag wins, by the way. And he is going for the math set once again, but Jax is going to get pulled back by the Showstopper, and he has the Haymaker here to stop him from dying. Gore Drinker as
wow, he actually does win that with the Gore Drinker.
Well, he has Rise.
I mean, he has Rise, you know, but still, a lot of regen. Still.
And I think he got the Gore Drinker onto 2 people. I don't think it's a 1v1 he wins. Definitely not before Titanic Hydra. But Leona does get the stun up here. Brand is here, gets a couple of bounces. The passive procs onto the Rise, but look at that big Haymaker. Samira is done for. Kane is here on top of the Brand, and nothing you can do. You get Kane ulted, Umbral Trespass. He's in you. How do you get away? You don't. You're dead.
Nope.
That is a 5-for-0 extended, of course, but still, that is going to be GG. They're coming out in the chats. Team 6 closing out the 3rd game. Had a rough one on the last one, but this game they pick up some interesting picks. They take the set away first pick. They pick up the Kane, and I love the Xayah pick from Hedge 20. I don't know whose idea that was, but bravo. An excellent pick against the Jax. And of course, when Team 8 commits harder to the dive comp, that Xayah does even better. So I love to see the draft here from Team 6. But let's not ignore the gameplay. Well played as well in the lanes. Good roams, good TPs. Good to see from Team 6 all around, and they do take the win 2-1.
Yeah, did end up being a pretty dominant game 3 there, but I mean, props to Team 8. They had something unique. They gave it a really good try, and they had some moments where it looks really strong.
Yeah, had a really good game really good game 2. They composed themselves from behind and really dominated that game as soon as they got their hands on the wheel. So that was good to see from them. Of course, it is just the first week of Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
So 0-1, 1-0. It is nice to have the win, but don't count Team 8 out of the league just yet. Of course, it has just started. Well played to both teams, but that is all from us here at Risen. We're going to call it a night. Congratulations to Team 6 again. Well played. And we will see you next time, Twitch chat.